regional sources that I talked to this morning, the domestic pressure on the regime is increasing each and every day. And they view this broadly as something called death by 1,000 cuts. They believe that President Trump has a variety of options on the table moving forward that could damage the Iranian regime further on a military level that would make it even more difficult for those in Tehran to rebuild after the war.
Reports say the president's considering a resumption of major combat operations.
We'll see what happens.
Says they are locked and loaded.
We'll see what happens.
Plan to escalate if necessary. We have a plan to retrograde if necessary. We have a plan to shift assets. Certainly in this setting, we wouldn't reveal what the next step may be, considering the gravity of the mission that the president is undertaking to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear bomb.
On the menu, a special ops mission to snatch Iran's uranium.
And we'll see.
In the last
where it
48
goes.
hours, both Trump and the Israelis have toyed around with the idea.
How do you envision the highly enriched uranium?
Unfortunately, I can't show this because 60 Minutes copyrights me every single time I react to literally any other thing. But let's just say it gets even hairier.
Just revealed the location of a top-secret submarine.
Oh my!
Capable of launching nuclear missiles.
We're not doing that. We're not gonna nuke Iran.
And it's
But they don't know that. That's why I'm telling you, man, libtards want us to lose wars. I've just decided that they hate our country, they want us to die. And not only because they aborted a third of our generation. No, that was definitely, that should have tipped me off, but no, that wasn't it. It was them literally siding with the pedophile, mass-killing terrorist retards, all right? And being like, no, actually, we're not, it's illegal to kill them. Yeah, sorry, bro, you're gonna die. That's how it works in the real world. You die. You want to fight us? You die.
Tried in 2 ballistic missiles.
But they're not going to get bombed. But I do support scaring the fuck out of them.
Targets over 4,500 miles away.
Yeah.
The Pentagon never discloses the locations of their nuclear subs, and they just did, just hours after the Iranians sent us that crummy proposal. On the ground, the military's training robo-dune buggies with mounted machine guns. It's next-gen stuff. They were just seen in Morocco.
That's pretty crazy.
Similar terrain.
That's pretty crazy. You know how many goat fuckers that one thing could kill?
And we're also going to start arming Apache helicopters
Holy
with
shit.
drones. Look at that.
Damn!
Our B-1 bombers are conducting training missions.
Holy shit.
They're the Super Hornets and Growlers launching from the USS Lincoln. General Key says we might have to pull the trigger.
Uh-oh.
We know the regime is like.
Yeah, we might have to obliterate the fuck out of a generation of pedophiles, actually. Leftists will cry because they love pedophilia, but unfortunately, we're just going to have to do it anyway. 89% of Epstein donations went to Democrats. I'm sure that they feel a kinship with the retards we're blowing up in Iran, but unfortunately for them, it's going to happen. That is why, ultimately, the fate of the world falls in the hands of strong men willing to make tough decisions that a lot of people bitch about. So anyway, I'm really glad that I'm able to actually cover this properly, because I feel like a lot of people refuse to cover it at all. Just to understand what I'm saying, here's look at Democrats trying to teach you that actually we're losing a war against these goat fuckers.
They say we're losing.
You've achieved a series of tactical successes, but are on the verge of a strategic loss because we are now negotiating.
Thank you, Senator Kuhn. Very cool.
I think it's so foolish. Here we are in a committee in the United States Senate, 74 days in, and you're talking about strategic loss. We have the ability to defeat a 47-year threat of a pursuit of a nuclear weapon. We have more leverage than we've ever had. We've had incredible battlefield successes, and you're talking about a strategic loss?
You had a technical success because you eliminated an entire regime of leaders, and then the secondary backup leaders were killed too. Currently, they have one limp-dicked gay Ayatollah that's somewhere in a bunker that no one's seen before because he's probably dead. And they have no military, they have no air force, they have no navy, all right? They downed one of our pilots. We were able to go into enemy territory and pick him up. They have proved us completely correct by bombing every single one of their neighbors, by firing missiles that were able to reach 4,000 kilometers, way further than they ever admitted that they were able to have missiles. They claimed they didn't have missiles to reach that far, but they did. We were proved right about every single thing that we have said before the war started. We have won dramatically and massively, and then you get dipshit Senator Kuhn sitting there. Actually, it may have been a tactical The left wants you broken. Okay, never fucking forget. If it wasn't half heartbreaking that half our country fucking hates us and wants us dead, it would be hilarious. Now, the Donald is turning heads because he is cooking to an unbelievable degree. This is the kind of thing that everyone was saying was a conspiracy theory for the longest time, but unfortunately for them, it's proven to be true, very true. We all knew it was true. We were told we were crazy, but it's all true. The White House tweeted, under President Trump, replacement migration will never be the global compact on migration and the UN efforts to facilitate replacement migration. Just this term alone was considered a conspiracy theory for my entire life. But then again, I had eyeballs, which proved this conspiracy theory was not true. I know, it's a pretty crazy to think about. It's like, yes, we are not getting replaced in our home countries at all. This is the most American thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Truly American, very American, more on that later. But Alex Jones even showed up saying, this is what I voted for. Sorry, this is what I voted for. I pray Trump can get it back on track. All right, bro drops this is what I voted for after calling for his impeachment. Replacement migration? No thank you. Re-migration, yes. The left are calling him a Nazi for this, which means that it's good. It's awesome, actually. Whenever the left calls you a Nazi, it means you're doing something right. I don't know if you've picked up on that, but that's basically how it works. Like, bro, it makes me so happy watching these cuckolds see new White House pledges re-migration. Every leftist on the planet, literally a term Nazis came up with because ethnic cleansing sounded bad. Yeah, that's right. That's right. The Nazis were really worried about sounding bad. Like, dude, you look at the way people are talking about this. Never black pill. 4 years ago, this post would have gotten you erased from the entire internet, banned from your banking system, fired from your job, and blackballed from future employment in the Fortune 500. Bro, worked so hard for this for so many years. This might be the greatest day of my life. I can't believe we now have an admin willing to fight against this. Incredible. Now, a lot of people are saying it's just a tweet. No, it's not just a tweet. It is an Overton window shift. A lot of people think that voting for Democrats is actually going to make more radical Republicans. No, it will make the Republican donors get some sort of limp dick cockwaffle to actually run in order to get as many centrist votes as they possibly can when the leftists inevitably destroy our country. All right? Absolutely not. It's the Overton window shift of our lifetime, and we are going to be getting some radical motherfucker into office at some point. Because this is resonating with the people. All right? And it is, the toothpaste's not going back in the tube, as much as I'd like to say. Now, Trump also torched a reporter.
I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. And we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule.
He just says, I doubled the size. And then the reporter says, but the price is double.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. 9 out of 10, if you would have called her a dumb bitch, I would have proved a little more. But, we'll take dumb person. All right, so absolute cinema. That's right. We doubled the size of it. Of course, the price doubled, you dumb fuck. Which would have also been a tentative 10 response. Now, the White House continued cooking. All right, so all the black pillars, all the retards, all the bitch waffles understand that you lost. You lost. Your black pilling failed. All your Trump backstabbing attempts, they've fallen apart. The White House says they will identify and neutralize political groups that are anti-American. Oh, fuck.
Meow.
Cinema, absolute cinema.
What's wrong?
Now, just to understand, libtards are in big trouble. This is going after everyone. Everyone that is an enemy of the United States. Now, they're saying that radically pro-transgender is included in this fucking awesome. Let's go, dude. No, I'm not saying I'm going to round up every transgender person and put them into a camp. God, no. We need to make a silence for them, obviously. Now, anyway, official Trump government declaration. Oh, no. Radically pro-transgender is an anti-American ideology. True. Based. Actually, castrating children is a bad thing. I know this is a hot take for you. Oh no, I can't believe Nuck said the quiet part out loud. That he's against the castration of children. Yeah, I know. It's a really hot take. Now, I don't want to ruffle any panties over here, but I'm against the castration of adults too. I know, I'm a radical. Anyway, our new U.S. counterterrorism strategy, yada yada, etc., etc. And then they tweet this highlighted: "We will find you and we will kill you." If you hurt Americans or planning to hurt Americans, we will find you and kill you. That's fucking awesome, actually. Man, I love when a government is actually like, yeah, we're actually going to kill our enemies that are trying to kill us, not literally release them from prisons 4 bajillion times until we're all dead. Man, a non-suicidal government in the United States? I can't even believe it. Now, the leftoids are losing their mind because, oh my God, you're using words like kill you. I can't believe it. I mean, yeah, I celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but I can't believe you would kill the innocent goat fucking pedophile terrorist that's building a nuclear weapon to destroy us. Yeah, we know. We know your stances. Donald J. Trump is gonna kill you. I love this doubling down. Like, you can never engage with these people. There's no purpose to explain to them nuances like self-defense and killing terrorists is fucking awesome, actually. Just double, yep, Trump is gonna kill you. That sucks, man. That sucks. Wow, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oh, that sucks, bro. Trump is gonna kill you. Anyway, moving on. This is how you need to engage with this shit. Now, just to understand, this has been going very, very viral yesterday, and being that Trump is actually cracking down on radical pro-transgender ideology, calling it anti-American based, actually, because America has a constitution founded on biblical principles, and in the Bible, not only does it obviously say there's two genders, male and female, I made them, it says in Genesis, but it also says in Deuteronomy that anyone castrated is not welcome in the congregation of God, which is you know, it's that's pretty intense. Anywho,
You want to know the specifics, then, yeah.
Was that hormone replacement?
Therapy, yeah.
hormone replacement therapy. This is an individual who murdered a transgender guy who took drugs and murdered his parents.
So you're 28 years old now. What age did you know that you wanted to transition?
I mean, since I was born, but the earliest I can remember is 2.
Did your parents know prior to that?
My parents knew, my mom knew for 3 years, since 2019.
What time?
July.
Was that a big topic of contention between you and me?
It wasn't a huge topic, she was more like, how can I put it?
I'm a mentally ill retard that wanted to chop off my own dick, and my mom was like, no, please don't do that. So, obviously, they didn't see eye to eye.
Not very supportive, she was in shock, just didn't say anything.
Understandable.
And
Yeah,
then she
based.
just never said anything. She kept crying.
Meow. Meow.
So, they
Meow.
called him by his dead name. He used to be named Steve, and now he's called Xerox. Whatever the fuck transgender names are.
Mia says she was scheduled to have her long-awaited gender reassignment surgery the following month in July.
So they have a payment plan, and I had insurance. So they paid me about half of it at least. And I was going to do like a payment plan. But my dad was going to help me with a little bit of it, so.
According to Mia, her surgery was all set to go until her mother put a halt to it.
What led up to it was, I got a call from my social worker from the hospital. And, like apparently kind of broken HIPAA in a way. They shared the details of the hospital, but the worst one of all was my mother contacting them to say no to the surgery. And, well...
So your mother contacted the hospital?
Yeah. And so I knew I could probably feel it with just if that, but she would just say I was very furious, and I asked her, like, I don't want to hear excuses. I want to hear, an explanation, and I'm sorry, and I'll do something about it. Anyway, she can't say sorry, it saved her life, apparently.
She can't say sorry to save her life. Anyway, that's why I murdered her. Yeah, so again, transgenders, schizophrenic. Very interesting how these two come together so often. Yukon murdered parents because mom interfered with genital surgery. That's right. This is not a mentally well person. This is a fucking retard, okay? Like, I'm sorry, bro. And that's just where we're at. Like, there should be zero amounts of, my mom didn't want me to shut my penis off, so I murdered her. Nope, shouldn't even be a thing in civil society that exists whatsoever. After shooting his parents, he went downstairs to speak to his brother, etc., yada, yada. Elon Musk says, wow, because, wow, bro, wow is correct. Wow is correct, actually. This is fucking insane. Now, gets involved because this guy says, holy beast mode. All right, in other words, so cool that you killed his mom. Wow, so based, actually, because the mom didn't let him cut his penis off. So AstroGold responds, this is a great example of why trans communities are going on the FBI watch list. That's right. The trans community is supporting this guy that murdered his mother for not letting him chop off his dick. Understand the level of fucked up society is if that is a thing that's being supported by slots and people on the internet. That's right. Because transgender, I don't hate transgenders, to be clear. I'm a little bit but I don't hate them. I really don't. I pity them. They have a mental illness. And society affirms their mental illness. 40% of them kill themselves. Everyone's freaking out about the hantavirus. It's this new virus that's going around with a 40% mortality rate. Bro, it is more lethal to be transgender than to get the hantavirus. So yeah, this is why Trump is putting y'all on a fucking watch list. Now, to understand why the left is actually just an evil, violent party, Irina Zarutska, murdered by a criminal that was released from jail like 30 times or whatever, they're taking down all the murals of her all over the place. Even though they're privately funded, they're taking off these murals because the murals are divisive. That's right. St. George Floydius, all right, blessed be his fence, is literally fucking everywhere. The golden caskets and shit. They idolize that motherfucker. All right, but Irina Zarutska, who's an innocent person who was murdered in cold blood because she was white, it's offensive to think about it. It's honestly insane. It really is. And this is why. So, Cambridge gunman ID'd Tyler Brown. In 2020, he fired upon 5 police officers. Judge Janet Sanders gave him 5 years of prison. 5 years of prison for a person with a 20-year criminal record that fired upon police officers. 5 years in prison because dipshit leftoid Judge McGoogle felt empathy. I'm sorry, man. I'm done with it. First of all, we shouldn't have female judges. That's obviously a mistake. Second of all, pattern recognition. Pay attention. It's always a female judge. Now, the worst part is, a reporter went to ask her. It's like, what do you think about this case? And the judge didn't even remember the case.
It was hard to hear with the door in the way, but Judge Sanders appeared to say she had no comment and no memory of the case.
She didn't remember the case, that she basically just kind of gave this guy off for murdering people. Now, don't let the left gaslight you. I feel the need to bring this up every once in a while because a lot of people forget what peak woke was like. All right, now I see a lot of Trump haters freaking out. You know, Trump is talking about remigration. This is fucking crazy, by the way. All right, it's insane that we're at this point in society where we can talk about remigration instead of replacement migration, calling out the UN. All right, where we're actually putting these fucking retards on FBI watch lists. All right, this is a...
I'm having a lot more luck with the...
public zeitgeist as well as in the actual federal policy. Now understand
with the flex this time around.
I'm Amara Jones, founder
Nanos.
of Media. In this Black Lives Matter moment, Black trans women have a very simple message. Stop killing us. We can't expect others to care about us when we care about ourselves. We're all free.
Yeah, so remember, this is where we came from. We came from trans black women making up fake realities that they're getting genocided in an excuse to fund Black Lives Matter scams and riots burning down our country. This was the public policy. This was 2020. Never forget where we came from and where we are now. Never forget. We made so much progress. All right, and the fraud is getting shut down too.
We have to take the fraud issue seriously. We really have the most accelerated, aggressive anti-fraud operation that we've ever seen from the federal government.
Every week, I get a report from the task force. You know, we have our weekly meeting, and I am shocked every single day by the things that we find.
This is not just theft of the American people's money. This is also theft of critical services that the American people rely on.
No amount of fraud is too big or too small. If you're defrauding the taxpayer, you ought to go to prison.
That's right.
Who's helping you ought to go to prison too.
That's right. JD's been cooking on the task force. Now, just to understand, ICE just announced a jaw-dropping fraud bust saying 10,000 foreign students are involved in the federal government's optional practical training. Empty buildings, hundreds of students should be working, but they're not, and it's foreign-linked groups taking money and sending them out of the country. Massive bust has just happened yesterday.
HSI agents have visited problematic OPT employer work sites in Virginia, Texas, Georgia, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, and Florida.
So they are cooking, and they are shutting this shit down. Understand where we are, understand where we came from, it's bad. Now, this is one of the wildest twists of all time, just to understand exactly where the public discourse is right now. The animated Angry Birds movie, which I've never watched, is currently going giga viral because it's accidentally the most right-wing, chud-coded kids movie of all time. All right, I can't show you clips because of copyright, obviously, but like, understand, bro. We got the wholesome Chungus birds letting the pigs into their societies, okay? The pigs come into society, fuck it all up, and then they have to re-migrate the pigs out of bird society because the pigs refuse to assimilate. Understand how diabolical this actually is. Main big pig has a Muslim beard. Green is, well, I'll just show you what the beard looks like. Just their main big pig. Like, you can't unsee this. When I saw this, I couldn't unsee it, bro. So Maine Green Pig has the Muslim beard, green is the primary color of Islam. Pigs invade birdland under the pretense of being friendly. Cucked President Bird welcomes them in, gaslights the other birds about inclusion. Amnesty International coexist stickers. It's the most anti-migration piece of media ever made. It's insane. They even have a slur for the pigs, bro. This is crazy. They have a slur against the pigs. They were so close to calling them piggers. I'm really a little peeved that they didn't. I feel like that would have been fucking crazy. But
That would have been crazy.
With a hard R, brother. All right, so just understand exactly where we are at in society. All right, they could bitch, they could cry, they could squeal, they could complain. But the toothpaste isn't going back on the tube, and that is what getting a based right-wing administration gets us. And I am so fucking tired of the retards and dipshits saying we should vote Democrat while Trump's not doing enough. You know what? I agree with you. I wish we would deport every single illegal alien and mass deportations would continue, etc., etc. I could list a whole bunch of other stuff too. Objectively, this is fucking awesome. And even more fucking awesome than you might believe, because it's not a conspiracy theory anymore.
This could have gotten you erased from the entire...
That's right. Rubio State Department just released this shit.
Banned from the entire banking system.
Yup.
And blackballed from future employment in the Fortune 500. So what's the post? Last week, the United States refused to participate in the UN's review of the Global Compact on Migration. The United States objects to the Global Compact on Migration and UN efforts to facilitate replacement migration to the United States and our Western allies. Man.
Bro!
This has
yeah, we're tired of it, man. This is what free speech gets you.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. I showed you grab a horse. Yeah.
This is tiny little area. Facilitate mass migration to America and Europe, even as citizens of the nations called for restrictions on migration. Now the Global Compact's latest report urges nations to expand migration pathways.
Holy shit.
To regularization of migrants. So these people in the UN that are doing this stuff need to hold.
That's right. That's right.
As they've facilitated a cultural genocide, they've facilitated thousands of rapes, murders, and they've done so.
Look, that's why I've been saying that left is the party of second thoughts. I don't think people understand when I say that. I don't say that as an insult. Well, I mean, I guess technically it is an insult, but I don't say it as an insult. I say it as an objective measure of the rape of our civilization that was brought upon us by leftoids. These people claim they have empathy, but because their ethics are based on literally fucking nothing, spit and duct tape is their fucking ethical system, and they will import infinite retards and rapists into our countries because they refuse to acknowledge that some cultures are just fucking worse. That's right. We are a superior culture. I know it sounds so racist when you say it, and everyone like gives you the stink eye, the side eye, and they glance at you like you're a fucking demon for saying this shit. What am I supposed to do? Lie to you? We are the best civilization in the history of the world. We are a superior culture than these fucking retards that are coming in from third world shitholes into our countries, objectively speaking. And you know what a culture is? A culture is created by its people. It's people of a culture that create the culture. It's not magic earth. Okay, we're not on magic American soil that anyone that steps on the soil is just part of our culture the same way we are. That's obviously not fucking true. A culture is its people, and it's created downstream of religion, in my opinion. And the biblical morality that seeped into our bones as a culture does not exist in places where we are importing fucking barbarians and savages. All right, I'm just gonna be real with you. That's an objective fact. That's not an opinion.
Under the guise of morality, UN-funded NGOs handed out maps to migrants en route to the U.S. After facilitating mass migration to the United States, UN agencies condemned the deportations of illegal aliens. As Europe sustained migratory pressure, the UN agencies condemned frontline states who refused to open their borders. And while the UK faced unprecedented illegal boat crossings, the UN agency condemned plans for deportations. UN officials lobbied aviation regulators.
And the UN will sit there because they got votes from some fucking retards in the Congo who speak in clicks and whistles, okay, while they genitally mutilate little girls. They are going to be the arbiters of morality and get a vote on how actually it's immoral for the United States to deport Haitians that are eating our cats. All right, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You're fear-mongering. I can't believe you're fear-mongering by making believe that some cultures are fucking retards and some cultures are less retarded. Hi, I'm a liberal white woman. I think all men are evil and should die, unless they're rapists from Somalia, in which case, break them the fuck over here!
To prevent the deportation of migrants, an appalling violation of the UK's national sovereignty. The United States will not legitimize global compacts that enable mass migration into America or Western nations. Under
where we're
President
at,
Trump,
baby.
the State Department will facilitate remigration,
Remigration.
not replacement migration.
Remigration!
He's saying, you go to these NATO
Dude,
meetings.
Rubio is the GOAT! Rubio's the GOAT. Look, as it stands right now, I don't know if it'll be different, but as it stands right now, I totally would back in for 2020.
Things you meet with people, what they will tell you is our shared history, our shared legacy, our shared values. Well, if you erase your shared history, your shared culture, your shared ideology, your shared priorities, your shared principles, then what? Then you just have a straight up defense agreement. That's all you have. So what I'm trying to point to, what we've tried to point to is very simple.
Sorry, UN, y'all are done.
Well, that is at the bedrock and at the cornerstone of our relationship, with example, with Europe, is the fact that we do have a shared culture, a shared civilization, a shared experience, and shared values and principles. And this nation are the inheritors of, in many cases.
True.
Many of these ideas that led to the founding of our country found their genesis in some of these.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
He's the
If
GOAT.
you take that away, if that's wiped out because for whatever reason it's no longer a part.
Our culture right now is downstream of thousands of years, all forms of different cultures mashing together and coming together to create ours right here, right now. Based fundamentally on biblical values, Greek philosophy, etc., etc. If you take some fucking savage from the third world, whose ideology is not inspired by the Bible, and whose logic is not inspired by philosophers, but instead they worship a pedophile and support human sacrifice and child rape, I just don't think that they can assimilate properly into our countries. And you know what? Neither does anyone with a rational mind. A lot of people are too scared to say it, but everyone believes this. So when the UN is pushing infinite shit like this, they are lying and manipulating you into accepting the mass rape of your culture and civilization. They're evil, evil people that hide their evilness through little tiny gay fucking masks of empathy, inclusivity, and tolerance. That doesn't make it any less evil.
I do think it puts.
I'm also really glad, like, there are some Americans that, like, have just, like, maybe an ego thing of, like, people not wanting to admit this. But the real truth is that America came from Europe. A lot of our ideals, our values, and everything are shared with Europe.
And it's something that we should be unapologetic about. Anyone who doesn't recognize, for example, that many of the features of our system of government find their root in Roman and Greek history is...
That's my guy, bro.
Is a fool. It's just not true.
Yeah, man, I'm really happy to see this. This is great. And Mark's completely right about this, by the way. 4 years ago, this post would have gotten you banned. It's crazy how much progress that we've made in only 4 or 5 years. Like, think about in the peak of 2020, COVID hysteria, and then think about where we're at now.
That's right. I think COVID really radicalized a lot of people, seeing people get banned for random shit that ended up being correct. But the craziest part is, we're here right now. Thank God. We're at a turning point, and we are only getting stronger. That's why they're so scared of us. That's why they'll call us Nazis and fascists and celebrate our assassination. All right, that's why they want us all fucking gay. Because they know that they will lose in the marketplace of ideas. And the younger generations, the strong men in my generation, we're coming for your throats. Donald J. Trump is gonna kill you. Now, with all the cooking that Trump has been doing recently, pushing remigration, more deportation, leaving the UN, and holding China by the nuts, it's really become very, very awkward watching all of Trump's ops fall apart so miserably. We got inside footage in the White House itself of people talking about how they're trying to actually overthrow Trump from leaked footage and leaked cameras. We got Nick Fuentes laying out his plan on why he's backing Democrats, and I'll be honest, it doesn't look very good for him. His strategy is kind of bad. Gandalf's Aryan, massive anti-Trump guy is getting throttled and humiliated in public, and the #1 Trump op on the right, Thomas Massey, was just exposed for unthinkable things. It looks like he's going to lose his election in a couple of days. We got lots to talk about, so let's just start with this one. All right, so here's a little clip of a White House staffer on camera saying that they need to get rid of Trump.
We have to get rid of Trump. Seriously. He's a mess. He's fucking it up for everyone. Yeah. Everyone. We gotta get rid of him. Yeah.
Benjamin Elliston claims that Trump is a dangerous madman and insists that no one can know that he feels this way.
He's a madman. Literally. is invincible. Nothing can stop him. And that's dangerous.
I don't know. Invincible, nothing can stop him. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good to me.
Do people know that how you feel about the president? No.
No, they can't know. Ha! Well, we all know now. Benjamin Elliston, senior budget analyst, funding manager at the White House. Yeah, this is pretty bad, though. It's pretty bad. The house is going to be getting a little bit whiter when you replace it, sir. Anywho, it's getting pretty bad out there for the Trump ops. They keep falling apart because Trump keeps winning. I was promised that I would get sick of the winning, and yet I am not sick of the winning. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. So, our guy over here, Stephen Crowder, just did a little debate with Nick Fuentes, who's been urging everyone to vote for Democrats. Right, and I'm not going to lie here. It really feels like this is a debate between someone that's grounded in reality and someone delusional. That's how bad it came off.
I really believe that this administration is just cooked. Like, I don't think there's going to be a course correction. I have no faith in this administration.
Course correction. Just to understand, under the Democrats, we would get cooked. Border would be open. 30 million more illegals. Pack the Supreme Court. Gerrymandered all the states the way they wanted to. Like, it would be really, really bad. So yeah, I think the entire stance of Trump betrayed us by killing terrorists that they're trying to make nukes. That he's been saying he's planning on doing for like the last 40 years. Trump betrayed us. That's extreme, all right? He didn't stab you in the back, all right? He shifted the Overton window for sure. The public discourse has changed radically. Free speech is actually back in this country. And that's aside from net negative migration, which is the first time it's ever happened in our lifetime, all right? Like, I can keep going with W's we've been having. Aside from obvious gerrymandered districting W's, which is insane. Roe v. Wade overturned, which is crazy. And the wins are actually massive, all right? But anywho.
I think Trump is old. The people around him are very bad. And so I think the real question is, and this is a huge question, who will be Trump's successor? Because that person is going to define the direction of the party. And I really believe there should be a very competitive primary for the presidential race in 28.
Right, with you.
And what they're trying to do is consolidate support around either Vance or Rubio.
Meaning they're trying to win. They're trying to take the two most public figures on the Republican Party and actually try to win an election against the Democrats, which are trying to rape our civilization.
Yes. I'm sure you know that behind the scenes, there's a very big fight going on between donors and between party personnel. Are they going to get behind Rubio, which he seems to have the backing of the neocons and Mark Levin and AIPAC and Miriam Adelson? Or are they going to get behind Vance, who has the support of Little Tech, Palantir, Tucker, you know, and he's going to clearly run in the more America First lane. At least nominally, he's going to claim that. And I think that we should not have consolidation where it's 80% behind one candidate. I think it should be wide open. I also don't like either Rubio or Vance, because I think you get a neocon or a Palantir guy. And so to me, the only way to have an open field is if everyone associated with the administration is sufficiently weakened. So I'm actually rooting for Democrats to degrade and sabotage.
Really glad he's laying his position out there. I'm really glad that the position is getting so fundamentally laid out so we can all understand.
This administration and the people in it so that they're less politically viable, and maybe that clears the way for a dark horse or an outsider, someone from outside the MAGA.
Vance and Rubio, they didn't like Jews a little bit too much. We're going to need to destroy the Republican Party by importing infinite retards into the country and get a Hitler.
A Mar-a-Lago Trump administration to maybe clinch the nomination in 28. And to me, that's really the big picture.
Okay. So here's my primary problem.
All right,
what you just said.
Here we go.
It's a keyword maybe. So my first question is the roster. You say, yeah, competitive primary. I agree.
Sure.
I hear who you don't want. The roster, the funds, the ground game. Maybe, right? Because you've tried this before. It's failed. The losses are real, the Democrats that we faced.
Right.
I would argue, I think it'd be tough to argue against. Worst 3 years in modern American history. The wins, the potential wins that you're describing are imaginary, with no concrete. And I know that you talked about this with Dan Bilzerian, so I'm not trying to sandbag you here, but if I'm going, okay, there's a risk. It's a political play. Well, I won't be able to take part, along with many conservatives, Republicans, because I cannot vote Democrat. Doesn't mean I'll vote for Republican all across the board. Can't vote Democrat. But the roster, the funds, the ground game. You know, the things that you need to win elections in 2028 through the major risk of handing the country over to Democrats when we know that that means open borders, packing the courts, turning them into citizens, DEI back in the administration, H-1B skyrocketing, all of that. Huge risk, concretes, so we see the payoff.
And honestly, he's just kind of right. Like, he's being very polite about this entire discussion, but I think it's very polite of him check candidate that's actually going to do all the things. I don't know, man. I think that it's a little bit insane. I think the best way to shift you over to the window and keep pushing people more right is when people are more right-wing than the administration. Look, I'm happy with Trump. I think Trump did a lot of really good things. Sure, I disagree with certain things, and I wish he would have done better in certain areas. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, actually, abject failure, total backstab, especially because the country is more right-wing now than it ever has been ever. The actual Republicans, they're losing their primaries. The gay Republicans, we're replacing them with actual radical, we're absolutely trying. We are missing socially. We don't have Democrats in office. We didn't need Democrats in office to get ourselves there. Democrats in office will make us vote for literally fucking anybody that isn't a Democrat. We're going to vote Republican all the time. Just because, like, holy shit, we got to get some AOC president, God forbid. We take literally fucking anyone another way. And I don't want that. I don't want President Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of the country because we fucking absolutely despise the fact that Gavin Newsom decided to give citizenship to infinite illegal aliens. All right, sorry. Now, one of the major claims here also is that the reason why DHS morale is low is because Trump is holding them back.
Well, the morale is low.
Actually, really don't. Surprising as it is. You're more congenial.
I'm pretty congenial guy. Yeah. I'm more of a No, you're a good guy, Steve. We get along. Yeah, but DHS, the morale is super low. They're literally going and telling people.
It's low because of sanctuary cities and hamstrung like you're sidestepping.
Objectively true.
Will not deport violent felons in our prison system. This is telling people to vote for them.
Yeah, so it's a total delusion to think that the reason why ICE isn't doing more is because of Trump, and as opposed to the fact that the Democrats literally insurrections in every single major city across the entire country. All right, and we are actually pushing legislation, unfortunately really fucking slowly because Trump isn't activating the National Guard nearly enough, don't get me wrong, but not like solving Trump. To say that morale is low because of Trump and not morale is low because Antifa terrorists and Islamists and retards are throwing bricks at their heads, that's very different. The mayors of these cities are literally working. I would love a president that would sit there and be like, oh, you're endorsing violent riots against our agents and then arrest the entire government of the city. That sounds fucking awesome. And you know how we're going to get there? Not by voting for Democrats. We're going to get there by voting for more and more radical Republicans on a city level, a state level, and on a federal level. We are actually going to get a fucking badass administration at some point in my life. It's going to happen. We're going to get actual savage radicals. But unfortunately, it seems like some people are so pigeonholed to their little ideology. Like, Nick Fuentes is like, the Jews bad, Jews controlling everything. So therefore, he just doesn't want to vote for any candidate that's pro-Jew. You're pro-Jew, you're cooked in the Nick Fuentes world. Right? And look, man, I don't even care if they hate Jews. I think lots of people hate Jews. Lots of people hate Jews. I love our country, and I want what's best for our country. What's best for our country is not some guy that, well, at least he hates the Jews. And I keep seeing so many people with these agendas pushing their bullshit because of the agenda. Their agenda first, the country second, and it's insane. But like Tucker Carlson, even Nick Fuentes thinks he's getting paid off by Qatar.
We have number of subscribers, and I know because you've been around a long time, we started from the ground up, and then we do one spot a day. And you too. I mean, you weren't part of some big conglomerate, or as far as I know, any massive nonprofits. And I can't confidently say that about, I'd have to think, most anyone else in this group. I think you represent yourself, and I represent myself. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
And that's why I actually could say this.
Mike's always in the golf. He's always over there.
Yeah.
They got good fishing over there.
It does.
He goes, I bought a house in Qatar. That's my right as an American. You're like, I don't see the connection there, actually.
Sure. I mean, it's a right, but
Is that on the back of the declaration?
I don't know. I don't know. Just let me know. He takes a golf to the Gulf to golf.
But he's very, very pro. It's not just that he has a house over there, he sees business opportunities. He's very pro. Speaks glowing. Okay, you're following the dude.
I can't wait for his third outfit change. He starts wearing those man dresses with the picnic table hat there.
So that is one thing I have to say, and I always try to be very honest about this stuff. I appreciate honest people immensely. And while I think that it's a bit traitorous of people like Nick Fuentes to actually support the Islamic regime mainly hope that they win the war and vote Democrat and shit. I do think he's actually honest. I mean, while I actually do respect that he's actually doing something that he believes is best for the country, even though I think it's not. And that's really why I like Crowder too. He also strikes me as a very honest, upfront guy. Like the Tucker Carlsons, the Megyn Kellys, and the Griffins of the world, like these guys are fucking suffering, and I cannot extend that same charitability. All right, I'm a very decent guy. Okay, I treat you with the same level of good faith that I believe you treat me. All right, so while I disagree with your policies and strategies, and I think they're a little bit retarded, I'm not going to sit here and call you a fag, which seems to be the strategy of everybody else trying to discredit me. So I tried to. Now, speaking of feds and retards, right? So this is Dan Bilzerian, Trump guy saying that Trump needs to be executed, talking about how he wants to execute and assassinate Israeli politicians and Ben Shapiro, allegedly. Right? This is new revelation from this guy. He is running for Congress in Florida purely on the Jews bag card.
Exterminating Israel. I mean, I would sign up tomorrow and go fucking put boots on the ground and go fucking kill Israelis. That would be a great day.
Right? So this is him talking to Sneeko, another American first patriot.
Fucking sign up on the fucking draft waiver wherever. Give me a fucking give me a rifle and send me the fuck over there. I truly believe that the majority of that country is evil and they're perpetuating genocide.
Oh my god, genocide is happening. Anyway, so again, this dude decided that he was going to do his absolute best. He was going to run for Congress on the Israel bag. He doesn't even know how the government works. He was rally the wrong district. He accidentally hosted a rally in the wrong district and then canceled it because apparently no one showed up. Bad. Like, an Instagram, handler, drug addict, and now he's doing this whole grip and just getting funding from Qatar and shit. So it's pretty weird watching this happen again and again and again. That was the biggest one. Randy Thomas. been calling Donald Trump a pedophile, essentially, because of the Epstein file.
And just very quickly, if you will, we've supported most of what Donald Trump has done during his presidency. Because of your actions with these files, he is supporting your primary opponent. Has waged very personal attacks on you. I know we just have a few
Yeah, because he refused to vote for the big, beautiful bill, and also because he's been pushing, quite literally, the most dangerous insinuations of all time, that Trump is running some sort of pedophile bill. Yes, Trump all of a sudden doesn't want this guy around. Is this really surprising to you? Like I don't know. I can't believe Trump would endorse his opponent just because he called him a pedophile? Yeah?
But just your reaction to that. Look, this is about the Epstein files, the people who are
This is such fucking horseshit, it's insane. He is literally pushing Pakistani-ass talking. Like the lowest IQ leftoid slop is pouring out of this guy. And you wonder why Trump is supporting the guy that's challenging him. That's right. Donald Trump was seen out of his house in 2006. He was an FBI informant that got him arrested in 2008. Under Trump, they arrested him again in 2019. And under Trump, it was the Epstein files. Like, my God, if you were so worried about the Epstein files, why were you fucking silent for 4 years under Biden? He was around under Biden. And he said nothing. And now that Trump is stabbing him back, that's the thing you care about the most the entire time. Like, I cannot stand these two-faced bootlickers.
Donald Trump told us that even though he had dinner with these kinds of people in New York City.
Yeah, dinner with the Epstein class without hesitating. Now, Massey is silent in the face of accusations that he tried to pay hush money to Mexico. Well, anyway, it's fine to talk about Thomas Massey. It's sick, it's spread, completely unfounded sex allegations days before an election. That's a Democrat. Now, to be clear, it's not completely unfounded. And we're going to get there in a second. Two, Thomas Massey sent the country into a psychosis, forcing the DOJ to release the administration after not supporting the one big, beautiful bill. Doesn't have a leg to stand on. Release the Massey files. To understand, he felt bad. Right? They didn't like him because he wasn't supporting Trump's agenda. And all of a sudden, this guy shows up here pushing his Epstein administration shit. Like, oh my God, it is really bad. It's really bad. Now, don't get me wrong. All of it is the work that he actually did to release as many of the Epstein files. I think we got a lot more because of him, and I'm happy with it. And I can also simultaneously acknowledge that that doesn't make him any less of a backstabbing bitch. He ended up calling out a whole bunch of names in Congress that he had to later take back because he ended up slandering a whole bunch of people. He branded Trump with the Epstein administration after being silent on Biden. So while I'm happy ultimately that we got the files, and a lot of that is actually because of Thomas Massey, I'm not going to sit here and make you this get into fucking fraud trade. I'm sorry. The damage Massey has done to public discourse is bordering on incalculable. Tell the old loathsome figure. All right, it's getting wild out there. Now, to understand the Thomas Massey files, here's where we're at.
Identify any evidence?
Yeah.
Identify witnesses? Yeah. Did you comply with all those requirements?
I did.
And in the course of filling out those documents, did you run against this Thomas Massey?
I did. Yes. Well, out of courtesy, when I started the process, I to let him know.
That's it,
He's very angry. that you can't make a difference, you just walk away. And we have $5,000 that he said that he would give me if I would just walk away.
Oh my.
I didn't.
Hey, what's up?
Oh my.
Oh shit! That was the wrong boat.
So it's part of his cow money, right? It's his non-traceable.
Oh, I did hit the other dude though. Took him out of commission. Alright, alright. Right now I'm just kind of sailing around, getting into fights, waiting for flex to grow. What game am I playing tomorrow? I don't know, I was gonna play this. Why? What's up? Do you got a better suggestion?
Behavior I wasn't comfortable with, allegedly, all right? These are her allegations, right? So the Mackey files have dropped. A lot of people are talking about this. It looks really, really bad.
Well, I was gonna save up. I'm just trying to get enough linen cloth to make a frigate for my other character. I was actually gonna dive into D2, Diablo 2, D2, and talking old school. I was going to jump into that for a while. I was playing that earlier today while I was eating lunch. I kind of got a Jones for it. Haven't played it in a while. I was a real big Diablo 2 player back in the day.
Tucker Carlson is getting allegedly checked out by the CIA for leaking information to our adversaries.
I don't. I've heard of the game.
It's bad. Thomas Manchin, while all this is going on, right? So you're right. Explain why our government is
I don't think I've ever played it.
He's still dropping this in like a collab with Tucker Carlson.
Somebody was telling me, what the fuck was the name of the game? Eve. Somebody was telling me I should play Eve. And I was like, what's that? And they're like, you're like a spaceship pilot. And then you could go out mining and you go in, you battle other people. They were trying to explain it to me and it sounded really complex. But they said the fucking battles and the graphics were awesome in it. I don't know, have you heard of Eve?
And the craziest part is almost every single one of them gets obliterated by their own doing. It's not like some shadow deep state operative shows up out of nowhere. It's like, it's literally their own shit that destroys them. All right? Did you offer Miss West $5,000 to drop a wrongful termination claim against Rep Sparks' office? A simple yes or no, please. Of course, you respond. But this is wild. People are already responding with this one. I hate reading all that. Happy for you, though, or sorry it happened, which is like a meme on the kind of shit Massey would be saying about the Epstein stuff. Now, just to understand why I'm actually taking this relatively seriously, not the allegations per se, but this total humiliation and destruction, is because I think that the slander campaign in regards to the Epstein files was potentially one of the most vile public slander campaigns with virtually zero evidence I've ever seen in my entire life.
Fuck, I still
Now,
need
when
like
Trump said
80.
that the Epstein files are a
And this
Democrat
thing's
hoax,
full,
it
so.
was actually proven completely correct. Because while obviously it's not true that Epstein was innocent, he was a vile fucking monster. He's dead now. And I would love more investigations for all the people that actually had some sort of contact or business dealings with him. I would love to see more of these rich pedophiles going to jail. There is zero evidence that Trump did anything wrong whatsoever. Just because his name is mentioned in there as pushed by people in his own
Yeah, because I don't know what's up with my evening
right?
streams. I don't get a lot of views in it, man.
I've ever seen. And now you live by the false allegations, you die by the false allegations. Again, I'm not supporting false allegations. I'm not even claiming that these are real or false. I don't know. And time will tell, ultimately. I am, however, noticing that the Egyptians tried to drown the Israelite babies in water, and God ended up punishing them by drowning them in water. And if this isn't the most eye-for-an-eye shit I've ever seen in my entire life, I don't know what is. Now, just to understand, new Congress poll in Kentucky, Gal Rain, which is a virtual nobody, but he got the Trump endorsement,
versus Massey, and Galrain is winning by a lot right now in the polls. We'll see what happens. It's over in a little bit. We're almost there. And if this happens, it will be absolutely phenomenal. Everyone screams and yells about how Donald Trump lost MAGA. Donald Trump is MAGA. Every single one of these upstart backstabbers is getting fucking obliterated. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's kind of entertaining to watch. Donald Trump was almost jailed. They had all forms of fake allegations made against him, with all these former women coming out 30 years after saying that he raped them, all right, with these fake allegations and bullshit like that, where this dude had the most unending campaign calling him a Nazi, calling him Hitler. They tried to fucking jail him. They tried to fucking kill him multiple times. It is wild watching every backstabber get destroyed. And I will not lie, it is a tad entertaining. Do I think Trump is perfect? Absolutely not. Do I wish he'd be doing a lot more? Yes. I think, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I think Trump is an old school Democrat, but the Overton window is shifting. He's done amazing things. And I am watching the most entitled, ungrateful bastards of all time getting fucking obliterated. And also, most importantly of all, bro, Dan Bilzerian's a Jew, bro. Literally silenced Jew. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the Borough Council of London, not one British person. They're not replacing you guys. It's a myth. It's a myth, guys. It's a myth. While the United States is pushing this anti-migration policies, Europe is dying. It is. All right, so, Donald Trump posted this one, re-migration, no more replacement migration, go to war with the UN. We got lib-cuck universe over here in England absolutely getting obliterated. And don't worry, because I have to show you the establishment cuckery still trying to defend this garbage. All right, this is a town council meeting in England. Not Afghanistan, by the way. Pay attention.
जब तक सुनो टीवी मुलाजमीन को मिलके उनके वाजिबात के हवाले से और बैठ के उनको सुनता नहीं है, सुनो टीवी के ऐड बन जाए।
Beautiful. I'm inspired.
मैं सिंध गवर्नमेंट से, पंजाब गवर्नमेंट से, टीवी गवर्नमेंट से और बलूचिस्तान गवर्नमेंट से भी मुल्तमस हूँ जिस तरह फेडरल गवर्नमेंट ने सुनो टीवी के ऐड बंद करने का ऐलान किया।
Wow. So real. England, guys. England. The total takeover that's happening in England. Just understand what's going on in Europe. All right, so this is a fire on a migrant house. After 2 weeks of protest, the school which was turned into asylum because they tell you to abort your children, and then they import a new class of society to take over instead. It was set on fire tonight in Loodstrecht in the Netherlands. Now, the protesters blocked the road for the firefighters to put out the fire. This is insane. This is where people have gotten to. At some point, elections are just going to be off the table. The countries are just going to betray them too many times, and they're going to stop the firefighters from putting out the fires. It is getting really, really dangerous over there, and people are tired of it. Polish police arrest 4 Swedish citizens for robbing and threatening a Norwegian tourist in Gdansk. Get ready. The 4 men risked 20 years in Polish prison, and they were identified as Mohammed H. from Sweden, Jabril H. from Sweden, Senal Saned, and Aran Akib. Understand what we're doing here, boys. Understand what we're doing. All right, now, breaking news. This is one of the worst things I've ever read in my life. The bodies believed to be 3 young girls have been found on Brighton Beach in Sussex, in England. There are currently no further details of this. Understand how insane it is? They're believed to be 3 girls. That's how badly they were mutilated. All right, now, a lot of people don't understand per capita, so I'll introduce you to a little bit of facts about the United States before we actually get into the absolute cuckery that you're about to witness. This is one of the worst debates of all time. Piers Morgan making believe that actually there's literally no difference between a white guy from England and a Pakistani Muslim who happens to have British paperwork. It might be some of the most unbelievable shit ever. So let's look at some stats. Pakistani Muslims are 6.5% of the population of England. That's relatively little, right? You'd think that's still a minority. They're 90% of the terrorist deaths, 83% of the child gang rapes, 18.2% of the prison population, 63% are married to their cousins, 31% of genetic disorders in the entire country is from Muslims, all right? Despite being 6% of the population. 6,655 FGM attendees, 48.6% of the non-employed people. Bro! 6% of the population, half of the unemployed people, 27% in social housing. They are raping the country quite literally, and also figuratively. And now that you have the facts completely at your fingertips, and here's the evidence to all of it. All the evidence is below. It's literally, it's official. This is according to the government, right? This is after the cover-ups. Understand how bad it is that this is after the government cover-ups. These are still the stats. Now I'm going to show you the worst debate in the history of the world. Because not only is the left sitting there and being gay about it, and they don't want to be racist, but they are demons. I don't know how these people can live with themselves. Enabling the rape of their country. Enabling the destruction of their civilization. Well, this is why the left is fucking evil and retarded, and they have zero morals whatsoever. I'm so grateful whenever they're so gracious enough to prove my point that they're immoral psychopaths. Or retards, but one or the other. And there is no third option. I mean, this is their prime minister right now. I don't know if we should be surprised.
And so, as usual, she is less than half right.
Yeah, so bro's out there in Parliament calling himself a gooner, and we're wondering why he's bringing in the rape community into his country, much to the surprise of everyone. Now, I don't want to get into like details right now behind all these specifics and these stats and why they do these things. I don't want to get into the fact and the reasons why some cultures are inferior. But it's objectively true that they are. I don't know if it's maybe a religion that actually worships a pedophile, or potentially because their laws allow the subjugation and violent rape of children and taking sex slaves or something. I don't know if maybe that has anything to do with it at all. But that is not the discussion to be had today. It's an objective fact that this is fucking astounding, and it's objectively immoral to not want to bring these people into your country. So lock in, get ready.
Well, hang on. When you say that there's various stats which are misleading, Gavin did ask a pertinent question. When you say that most crime is committed by white people, well, it should be. That's still the dominant racial element.
90% of the country is white people, and they're like, I can't believe most crime is done by white people. You're Islamophobic.
In England, what about per capita, meaning per proportion? Hang on, real quick, I'm almost done.
Okay.
Is there a disproportionate amount of crime from these immigrants in comparison to the domestic population? That's his question. I think it's valid.
Specifically child rape.
Yeah, let's talk about child rape. They love doing that in those countries.
Actually, the vast majority of child rape is perpetrated in the UK by white people.
Because they're 90% of the population, you fucking retard. Like, again, is he actually fucking retarded or evil? These are the two options. I want to radicalize enough people and let enough people recognize that if you're a leftist, you're either evil or retarded. There is no third option. All right, so is he retarded and he doesn't understand per capita? Or is he evil and demonic and allowing the rape of his entire culture because he doesn't want to look racist?
Asking about that.
Per capita.
We're asking about.
Okay, but why does Tommy Robinson? I don't know the per capita number. I'll get it while we're talking.
85%.
How the fuck do you not know that if you're a British commentator?
Of gang rapes in this country are perpetrated by South Asian men, according to the Quilliam report.
South Asian means Pakistani Muslim.
Report of 2017.
Well, actually, they were British Pakistani men, to be specific.
Actually, they weren't South Asian. They were British. Pakistanis, but British. They had paperwork. They weren't South Asian because they were British. This is what they fucking do to you, man.
In parts of the north of England, right?
Yeah, which was
Yeah, from Mirpur. Mostly from
That's what the
Mirpur.
rallies about on May 16th.
But my point, Andrew,
It's the per capita rally.
My point to Andrew is it helpful that Tommy Robinson only fuels a narrative that all the crimes are being committed by Muslims when they're not?
Yes. It doesn't say that all the crimes ever are committed by them, but it's way disproportionate. And the more that they get away with this shit, and the more they import more of them, and the more this actually happens. The more these people take power, and the more they let this happen, the more they cover up the crimes, and an entire generation of women, of girls, got raped in England. All right, yes, it's an objective fact. 6% of the population did 90% of the gang rapes? Like, did you even hear this shit, dude? Like, that's absurd. Absolutely absurd.
I'm not convinced that
And
that's
in fact, the numbers are even worse than that. Because 6.5%, bro, 6.5% includes the women. It includes the Pakistani Muslim women. That's right. It's more like 3%. That's how tiny it is. 3% of the population. Committing 90% of the gang rapes, and you're going to tell me that this isn't a cultural issue? It's Islamophobic to notice? Like, you gotta be fucking retarded.
accurate. So
or evil. That's the other option.
See, I've watched a few of Lee Robinson's debates, and he tends to focus on disproportionate crime rates. What Gavin's talking about here, which
because the culture is fucking bad. It's an inferior culture. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You can call me racist, but you can't call me wrong.
per capita. He's saying that disproportionate to the domestic population that's here, these people are overwhelmingly committing these types of sex crimes. That doesn't sound to me like he's trying to pin everything on Muslims, but rather point out an individualistic and precise problem.
So we have the
They love raping kids. That's the one thing that he's pointing out. That this specific culture really likes raping kids. Now, do you want those people to be your neighbors? I don't.
data for you. The arrest rates by ethnicity
Right,
per 1,000 people
Here we go.
for the year ending March 2020.
For the record, no one's talking about ethnicity right now. We're talking about religion. Muslim is not a race. Muslim is not an ethnicity. Muslim is an ideology. It is not racist, okay? Just to be clear. So this is immediately fake.
25. Black, 19 arrests per 1,000 people. White, 10 arrests per 1,000 people. Asian, 9 arrests per 1,000 people.
Now, Asian includes Indian and Pakistani and Japanese and Chinese. Now, the Japanese and Chinese people's crime rates are really low, but suspiciously, the Pakistani rate is pretty high. I can't even say it without saying rape anymore. It's so fucking bad these days. Like, every single day, there's another couple of examples of this. Every 54 minutes, there's a rape in London. It's like, what are we doing? Right, now, to be clear, that stat means nothing. Because one of the major issues is they keep releasing them from prisons. They keep letting them go after catching them. All right, they do not squash the crime as much. So not only is he talking about the Asian ethnicity, which means fucking nothing because it's including ethnicities that no one is talking about, but also it's not talking about child rape. It's talking about crime in general, and also no one's talking about the disproportionate amount of crimes that are being covered up and people let out of jail if they come from these fuck-all countries. Right, just understand how disingenuous those statistics are.
Yeah, now do
That's
child
not actually
rape.
answering the question.
Okay,
And everyone immediately notices.
They're
not getting
again and again and
arrested,
again.
Piers.
Okay, you asked me
Thousands of girls
you
are
asked
getting
me
raped.
to give
What a
you
weird side to pick.
the pro
You're mad
rata
at the guy
numbers.
who's trying to stop
There you
child
go.
rape.
Sorry?
And he's like, there you go, you have the numbers. This is the lip card. Understand, either evil or retarded.
You're mad at the guy who's trying to stop child rape.
No,
And you're
I'm
calling him racist.
not. And as I
Thousands
said,
of girls are getting raped.
But again,
They
no.
nailed a girl's
No,
tongue
no,
to a
no,
piece
no.
of wood as
Again,
they raped her.
Gavin,
they raped her under the
Gavin,
Pakistani
you
flag.
said this the other day.
Branding girls M
Gavin,
for Muhammad with a hot M.
Gavin, I have repeatedly said that where I agree with Tommy Robinson has been on his relentless campaigning against the grooming rape gangs in the north
That's
of England.
all he cares about.
Hang on, no,
That's
it's not all. It's not all.
100%
If only it was all he cares about, but it's not. But the point is, he claims he was the only one who ever exposed this. That the journalists of this country.
So you're mad that he's taking credit for stopping child rape? You cannot make this up, man.
Never exposed it, and yet it was exposed originally by a journalist from the Times newspaper.
Okay.
It was a literal journalist
Okay.
who blew the lid off.
So?
Tommy Robinson has
He's
been.
mad at Tommy Robinson because Tommy Robinson is making people think that in the Islamic cultures, the rape of children is more acceptable. Because it fucking is. Because they do it. Because child marriage is legal in every single one of these Muslim countries. But this is crazy to think about. Do you know that in Iran right now, everyone's screaming about Jeffrey Epstein. In Iran right now, there are 2.3 million children married to adults. Like, what are we doing, man?
Right to focus on the cover-ups, which were scandalous, and I completely agree with him. As I would say to his face, as I've told him on social media.
Covered it up. You know why? Because you would rather let little girls get raped than be known as racist. All you care about is your
Just right.
So you allow girls to get raped.
Why would you say such a stupid thing?
That is
true.
It's demonic.
Every single.
I'm calling you guys.
God damn.
Let's go. Look at old man. Bro, that's crazy.
So they make up. You sound unhinged when you say I'm a demon for importing a culture that's raping my children.
So 4%
I am
of the
unhinged.
population, but make up 18% of all the people jailed, Pierce? What? Am I reading that right? Is that correct? I just want to make sure that I got this right.
And to be clear, they have no reason to be there. The government, against the will of the people, is importing them.
You said you're going to get these per capita numbers, and I want them. Like, what are they? What are the per capita numbers? Because what I'm seeing is not looking very good. Okay, it's not looking very good for your side.
Yeah.
So what are they? What is the actual
Why
per capita
are you
numbers for
avoiding
these child
this
sex
subject?
crimes?
I find it
Why do
extraordinary.
you call someone racist when they point this out?
I've literally just told you the arrest rates for ethnicity. And there's been
Literally no one asked this. It's about per capita Muslim people child rape. That's the question.
for themselves.
Well, no, it did.
Well,
When
they do.
did you use the word
They
Muslim?
literally
When
speak
did
for
you use the word
themselves.
Muslim?
And then,
When
I'm
did
not
you use the word
pretending.
Muslim?
I'm not pretending Muslims don't commit crimes. So does every other ethnicity.
Absolute cinema. You cannot walk yourself out of this hole, man.
You think we're talking
Is
about
that not
child
splitting
rape?
hairs? Splitting hairs? We're splitting young girls in half. That's what we're
What's
splitting.
why would you say that?
Oh my god, these words are offensive! More offensive than girls getting ripped to shreds in public. That's right, that is exactly what we're dealing with.
If you've been around people who have been a victim of child sexual abuse...
Oh, you shouldn't talk about children getting raped, because it might trigger someone who heard this, who's been around children getting raped. Fucking retard hour here.
Hearing something like that is horrendous, I can tell you. Anything...
Bad things is bad. You can't even talk about it.
No, you know what's horrendous?
If they heard
Getting
you
raped
speak
by an
like
old
that,
Pakistani
you would
man.
honestly, you would
That's
put them into
horrendous.
a real panic. It's awful what you're saying.
What you say is awful. It's true, these things are actually happening, but we're not allowed to talk about that.
What? You just can't handle the truth.
I can handle the truth. I actually
No, you
live in
can't.
Okay, and I have for years been talking about the grooming gangs. I've been talking about Labour and what they did not do in certain councils. I've also spoken about people like Andy Burnham, who's the mayor of Manchester. When he was an MP, he was one of the first people to put in a proper
Blah, 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 yada, yada. I
inquiry. And
I just don't talk about the issue. I talk about the fact that different white men are not arresting the Muslims so much, but I'm not going to talk about how it's the Muslims that are doing raping.
she led to arrests of people who perpetrated these heinous acts.
Okay, so you're a Tommy Robinson supporter.
I think that it's perfectly legitimate to raise issue and raise light on these horrendous crimes.
Right. What we're not allowed to acknowledge that the culture is literally the issue. We're not allowed to acknowledge that, though.
But I don't agree. I do not agree with all of the nonsense we were talking about before, about the Unite the Rally, and talking about him actually acting contempt, carrying out contempt of court. But child sexual abuse. I just don't like the politicization that we're doing right now.
The politicization of importing a class that is raping a generation of girls. The politicization of it.
He's seen a
Using the language
documentary
that you
about
are
this, by the
using,
way.
it really is horrendous.
Is there
If you
a
are a victim,
particular-
you'll be knocked sideways by that.
Ava, is there a particular
This is all
ethnic group that you accept is majority responsible for the raping of underage women?
Well, Ben, let me sit back a little bit
Girls.
and answer that question, because I think that the lunacy of it to me is that any child sexual exploitation or abuse is heinous, and that's the starting block
We
of
all
where I
agree with
start.
Yeah, true. It's just most of it's happening because of Muslims that were imported into the country. Like again, the gangs around the major point here.
But is there an ethnic connection
Can I
to it?
finish? The one thing I would stress is the grooming gangs that did coagulate around Rochdale, around Manchester. I have investigated this and I've reported on this. There was not proper reporting of the perpetrators because there were, quote unquote, fears in the council that it would be perceived as racism.
That's
now, that's an issue at heart.
That
That's
is
an
actually-
issue at heart that we should tackle as a country, and I'm really glad actually for some of the very loud influencers online who have brought this to the forefront. That does not negate the white people in this country who carry out child sexual abuse
Listen to how they squirm.
every single day. Over 50% happens in people's own homes.
Absolutely.
That means 50% doesn't, right?
I get all of that, but you touched on a really important point. You said institutions turn a blind eye because of fear. That is institutionalized racism in this country against white people in favor of ethnic minorities. That is where this country is
This out every single day, but for some reason, Ben, you can't stomach it.
No,
to
the
admit
police-
that actually there are a lot of white men carrying this out every single day.
Absolutely, I agree with that, but there is no institutional protection of white criminals. There is institutional protection.
There are white men getting off every single day for doing this.
The police turned a blind eye. You just said it yourself. Police turned a blind eye. Social services turned a blind eye. NHS turned a blind eye. And actually, I think it was either Gavin or Andrew said it earlier. We have a two-tier criminal justice system. We have a sentencing council. We have a sentencing council.
You just want to
We have. Can I just say? We have a sentencing. We have a
care about the
You don't care about children. You just care about not importing Muslims that are raping children.
young children. You don't care. You care about criticizing
I know. I don't.
Politicizing it.
talk about it as a competition and not simply about one race is doing this.
These people are so tough. You see, I think she's actually. I think here's more bordering on evil in this regard. Like, there's no way to fucking. Like, I'll be real. I think leftists have reached such an insane degree. They mind rape themselves to the point that they refuse to acknowledge that not all cultures are. That some cultures are. Some cultures are inferior. All right, they don't want to acknowledge it. Everyone rapes kids. Every culture has some people that rape kids. But some institutionalize it, legalize it, and support it. You know what the Quran said? That not only Muhammad is the most moral man that ever lived, but he married a 6-year-old and raped her when she was 9. Hello? This is the person they're all manipulating, and the proof is in the pudding. Every single Muslim country, they rape kids. I'm sorry, they marry kids. All right, what are we even doing? We do not even play this game. They still, today, modern day, take sex slaves in these countries, man. But we're not allowed to acknowledge that these cultures are actually inferior. Well, they treat women like cattle, and we have leftist feminists that have mind raped themselves to the point that they have to sit here and make believe all cultures are the same. Well, I'm against all child labor. No, I need to. But I feel like we can solve 90% of the gang rapes if you just stop importing Pakistani Muslims, for example. These people are such disingenuous fucks, it's crazy.
Muslims aren't a race. So how do I get in trouble for using the word bitch, and she can say he doesn't care about child?
All of us of endorsing it. That's why.
Because you hid the fact. You hid this. He's not hiding it. By hiding it, you're endorsing it. By hiding it, you're allowing it to happen more. And now you're focused on white rapists because you don't understand per capita. Britain is all about class. The working class has had enough of people like you. The working class had enough of your accent and the way you ignore things because they're not fashionable. Sorry, gangs is not fashionable.
What's he talking about?
I'm talking about you guys denying that if we have a modern Islamic problem with child rape, that's what these rallies are about. You guys want to diffuse it and say, well, white males do it too, and let's ignore per capita. You're laying it down.
That's not what I said at all. That's just not what I said.
You're focusing on white males. You're trying to dilute the equation.
My point, which started all this, is if you read Tommy Robinson's X feed, for example, you will never see anything about white males committing crimes. Why?
Because he's tackling a very major issue in the country. A very major issue, which is importing Islamic rapists into the country. Okay? It's a very major issue that he's focusing on. It's like, but why isn't he talking about bank robberies? I don't know, because that's not what he's focusing on.
Because he's focused on
the thing he's trying to
Exactly, because he's focused.
And Pierce thinks that he wins this debate. He's like, got him. He's focusing on Muslims, so he's Islamophobic. Checkmate, liberals.
On Muslims.
And you're not.
24/7. Oh, I'm focused on everyone.
I'm focused on everyone. All rape bad, all rape.
And all crimes.
Okay, can you play back your
What I'm not is devoting. I'm not telling millions of people every day that the only problem in this country is the Muslims taking over, because it's bullshit. Anyway, we've got to leave it there. Will you be watching the rally, Gavin, on the weekend? Will you be
I'll be there with bells on, just like I was at the last one, with the other 3 million people.
Right? Yeah. Well, okay, why don't we count them when you're there? Because you'll find
just look at the shot.
People don't care about Islamic rape gangs, please.
You'll find you're 2,850,000 short. No, these are the police figures from the march.
Oh, the police figures! They wouldn't lie.
150,000 maximum. But don't tell me. They lie.
Let's rely on the police that have been covering up Islamic grooming gangs to talk about the correct numbers in the protests against the Islamic grooming gangs. Wow, fucking. What a bag.
The police lie. Of course they would. Why would the police lie about a crowd number?
Why would the police that covered up Muslim rape gangs lie about the number of people protesting against the government covering up Muslim rape gangs? Let's think about that one.
Because the state hates Tommy Robinson. They're throwing him in jail 10 times for nothing.
They threw him in jail for a series of crimes.
We never did get those numbers.
Go look up.
I'm just pointing that out. We never did get those numbers. Speaking of numbers, we did ask. but I've never actually got the numbers to demonstrate whether or not there's disproportionate criminality for Muslims and people, especially when it comes to sex crimes.
I will tell you this. I will get those numbers, and we will talk about this again.
My God, it's literally on the government website. This is the census that was actually taken, and this is by the government. And this is 6.5% of the UK population that includes women. It's 83% of the child gang rape. My God, what the fuck are you doing? So yes, I do think they're demonic. I do think it's evil. And I think that these leftists that are pushing this shit, they're either evil or they're retarded. Watching Piers Morgan, a guy in media, for years, sit there and make believe he doesn't understand per capita for 10 minutes straight, while saying he actually cares about children, while he's endorsing the importation of infinite rapists, has got to be one of the most bone-chillingly evil things I've seen in a really fucking long time. You are the state. And it is wild watching people backstab Trump that he's not going hard enough when this is our messaging, and we got this fucker calling himself a gooner.
Mr. Speaker, I am a gooner.
Right, so quite literally, sorry bro, but you guys are cooked. Now, Hassan Piker is getting absolutely played on the timeline. Another one of our favorite Islam extremist apologists, actually sitting there and endorsing every form of Islamo-terrorism we can possibly think of. We got this dude denying that bad things happened on October 7th, right? Like, bro, they just released the full depravity of Hamas during October 7th right now. An investigation was actually done. Even Piers Morgan, who's defending Islamic grooming gangs in the UK, is sitting there talking about how it's horrific and worse than we ever knew. I don't think I could actually talk about what was revealed in this one article without getting demonetized. They were splitting people in half, actually, evidence for splitting people in half, and passing them around and tearing them to shreds and shooting them in the genitals after assaulting them. You got Hassan Piker being like, wow, these guys are great. Women were stripped, bound, stabbed, shot, and burned. They were executed both during and after rape. Heads were decapitated, pelvic bones shattered. Even after death, the sexual assault continued. There's actual evidence of all this stuff by the UK media. All right, so, Hassan Piker out there, supporter of women, is getting destroyed by a woman. Colossal W. So Shuaned just made a response because Hassan Piker, everyone's favorite largest leftist political streamer who endorses jihadi rape, all right, this guy's out there getting obliterated by everyone.
The other day, I made a video about the Pragmata video game drama and covered some insane opinions people were having about it. How the game activated some...
Oh boy. Activated some ovaries.
Fatherly instinct in some men. And how people were calling those men creepy incels for having...
Hassan Piker be like, it's creepy if you want a family, obviously. You know what's not creepy? Palestinian terrorists raping as many Jews as they can, because I'll deny it and support it, even if it did happen.
The basic human desire to start a family. A small part of that video was covering far-left Twitch streamer Hassan Piker's awful opinion about it.
To be fair, he does support rapist pedophile terrorists. So, are we surprised that he also wants the white race to die off and not have children? Are we that surprised?
That segment in its entirety, so you have some context.
What's really interesting about this is these unthinkable losers in the gaming sphere always talk about starting families and stuff. And I don't understand why this has become a thing that they care about. If you're a gamer,
what do you care about having a family? Says dog shocking pedophile supporter Hassan Piker.
You should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about...
Which is why Hassan Piker shouldn't care about the Palestinian plight, because he's not in Palestine. Partially because Palestine is not a real place, but also partially because, he's a fucking terrorist supporter.
Things you actually enjoy, right? If you're a lonely gamer,
how did I lose 20 of those?
Been around a woman and will never have sex with a woman, why do you care? Why do you care about having children or
If you're not a Palestinian terrorist, why are you so mad when Palestinian terrorists get killed?
Riding for having children? It's just not something that you're gonna experience ever for your life, for the rest of your life, right? This is something that I never understand.
Wow, maybe there's a reason people are yearning to start a family and can't afford to have one and can't seem to find a partner. They feel alienated from their work and atomized from their community. If only there was a political commentator around to speak about all this.
Please.
Oh well,
I hope he shocks his dog. That makes him more relatable.
Hold up.
First of all, the only care about something if it affects you is extremely libertarian coded, and also
Okay,
very
that was
weird coming
thunder.
from a guy
Alright,
who
I thought something
understandably
horrible
wants
was
everybody
happening
to care
outside.
about a genocide
Sorry
that
about
is
that.
happening across the ocean. Second of all, what is this nihilistic horseshit? You never aspire for anything, never aim for greatness and meaning. And I love how he's like, unfuckable losers. Like, okay, congrats on the sex, bro.
Check literally pays for it.
Check out this sex haver over here. I'm sure all those unfuckable losers could easily go to foreign brothels and pay for sex like you, Hassan. Also, 35? No kids? Sitting in his ugly ass $600 Gucci sweater. I swear I've never seen this guy in a fucking normal ass t-shirt. Sitting on his high horse, looking down at people for wanting something more out of life. I don't understand how someone could be so
left on left violence. It's what I live for. I live for it.
Mentally mind raped that this is their reaction to such like a simple, wholesome concept. That was 3 minutes of a 30-minute long video. I didn't think much of it, I just uploaded it and moved on. The next day, I woke up.
Any normal human being like, yeah, that was a bad take. I was just thinking about Asmongold. That's what Hassan Piker should have said if he was honest, but he's not. He makes believe he doesn't support terrorism, but he does. Just so he's not honest, we know that.
And my YouTube homepage was flooded with videos like Shoe on Head just ended Hassan, Shoe on Head destroys Hassan, Shoe on Head finishes on Hassan. Wait, what? I had no idea what was going on. And to my surprise, he actually responded back, which then prompted a bunch of new videos. Hassan just had his biggest meltdown. Hassan's biggest meltdown yet. Shoe on Head has completely mind-broken Hassan. His response to me couldn't be that bad, right? Right?
Bro, it's absolute cinema. I absolutely love how it turns out that the guy that supports Islamic terrorism and shocks his dog is just an incredibly, deeply unlikable person. And he wonders why his career is dying. He's like, I have to start wearing suits now so people take me serious.
Alright, hang on, I'm gonna run to the bathroom right quick.
Old mom fan base and get them horny. That's literally something he said. It's pretty heartbreaking. This dude out here trying to change America and spark a revolution. And he's just getting absolutely obliterated because he says gamers are unfuckable losers and he shocks his dog. It's like the most normie-ass person on the planet can't stand you, Hassan.
Bearable way to exist, dude. Oh, I'm getting all my politics from Shoe on Head. Ooh, look at me. I'm an emo girl. Ooh.
Oh my god, he's mad.
Ooh, look at me. 4chan guys who are now 38 years old want to fap to me. Why would you openly admit that you listen to Shoe on Head? What the is wrong with you?
In this video, I'm going to show my raw reaction to his response, and throughout that will be sprinkled in, like, normal commentary. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, I was really debating whether or not to do a response to his response, but like—
Destroy the communist, terrorist, pedophile, supporting, retard, dog abuser. Ruin him. End him. Bro, I'm just saying, Hassan Bad is kind of one of the things that I'm so proud to have kicked off on the internet.
Like, everyone else is covering this crash out, so why wouldn't I, the subject of said crash out, cover it myself? Like, there's—
Look, man, when Hassan Piker had his giant crash out on me and he screamed and yelled and he slandered the shit out of me and he called me a pedophile and he screamed that I'm getting blown up by Iranian missiles living in Tel Aviv, which is not true. But anyway, the dude slandered the shit out of me, had a giant crash out. I made like 2 videos on that and it was awesome. All right, so I think that we should all be monetizing Hassan Piker's misery as much as possible until he gets deported. All right, think about it this way. All right, you want to make fun of Destiny? You will have so long to make fun of Destiny. That dude is going to be calling for the death of conservatives for a very long time. All right, so like, no rush. But like Hassan Piker, there's a time limit on this shit, man. All right, listen, I don't expect him to blow himself up, but I do think he'll get deported. So like, we gotta move, man. We gotta go fast. Remigration is happening. All right, wake up, clock is ticking.
It's currently a resolution in Congress to, like, disavow Hassan Piker, the same thing that they did to Nick Fuentes. Disavowing private citizens for what they said on the internet. What are we doing here?
No. Make Hassan Piker's life a little bit worse. It's based, actually. Totally disagree. See, here's the thing. I think Hassan Piker needs to go to jail or get deported for his violent shit. His violent rhetoric, constantly calling for the death of senators and whatever. I wish Congress would actually do things instead of just condemn people from their high horse. But, like, making Hassan Piker's life a little more awkward. Fuck yeah, dude.
Our government really have nothing better to do? Like, there is so much going on in the country right now. So much going on in the world right now. I feel like
deporting Hassan. We don't need to condemn him.
Decades worth of news happens, like, every week. Every day there is a breaking story of the most insane stuff you've ever heard in your life. Everyone is expected to have a fully formed...
It's honestly so real. Like, the fraud that happens everywhere in the country. Did you know that there was just now a mayor in a city in California that pled guilty to being a Chinese spy? This happened yesterday, and already people forgot about it.
Opinion immediately. But the reality is, when a story first breaks, you're probably not seeing the full picture. And that's why, for 5 years now, I have been using today's sponsor, Ground News.
Wow, that was a long one, man. Hassan Piker making all of his ops rich while screaming about communism.
So I thought it would be fun if someone joined me responding to this, because it is so ridiculous. I needed somebody to like bounce off with, because I felt like I needed some like emotional, moral support, because I feel like I'm going insane watching this. So I am joined here today with the lovely Smug Alana, the VTuber, everyone's favorite Oshi.
Hey guys, I'm a JPEG and I would bow, but I can't, so just pretend I am doing it right now.
No, nice bounce.
Well, I mean, it'll get the views in, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, you were on the last Shuon Head video. I will literally myself if you bring that shit up in here.
Let's fucking go! Some problem solved. Listen, I'm not endorsing Hassan Piker killing himself. That was the end of the sentence. Continue.
Okay. What do you want me to do? Myself in the face.
That was the end of the sentence.
Listen, Hassan, you're driving a hard bargain. You say it one more time, and I'll be convinced.
Not die in the process, but at least lose significant chunks of my brain so I can operate at the same substandard, suboptimal IQ level that Shuon Head and her dumb audience operates in, so I can do a regular response to that? Is that what you want me to do?
Why?
I mean, I wasn't gonna go that far, but now that that's on the I didn't know that was an option.
He's so mad.
Still has yet to bring
Supports terrorists.
up anything.
Nothing. 0 points. 0 points addressed.
How many seconds in there?
I basically made the same joke in my video about like giving myself brain damage so I could understand. I'm trying to follow the logic here. Let me just give myself some brain damage. Imagine being that chatter, like, hey Hassan, did you check out this video?
Ooh, look at me. I'm an emo girl, and I change my politics all the time. Ooh.
Time out. Emo?
Bro just says words at this point, getting shit on by the entire left and the right. This is everything.
It's Diablo 2, basically. I'm just gonna do some hack and slash.
That he frames having nuanced opinions, like depending on.
To be fair, Hassan Piker is pro-imperialist Japan when they bombed Pearl Harbor, as I showed in my recent video, and he's also pro.
It's an old school game.
Ukraine, and he's also pro China's conquering and rape of the Tibetan people. But he hates America, so he's based.
The subject, like, God forbid you disagree with Hassan Piker, the arbiter of correct opinions of the internet.
I do not have that many videos. I have like 100 videos in the span of like a decade. You could go randomize and click on any of those videos and you wouldn't be able to tell if it was made today or 10 years ago. Which, honestly, I shouldn't be bragging about. Okay, my point is, I haven't changed that much.
I mean, did think Bernie Sanders was like God's gift to humanity. All right, I mean, let's be real here.
And the things I have changed my mind about, I'm very open about. The way he's framing
they're married to child, and all of a sudden became radicalized as shit. It was like, hold up, we gotta arrest criminals. Hold on, we gotta talk about black petite. No, I'm kidding. But it's pretty crazy how getting married and having a child radicalizes the shit out of your average leftoid.
Of people changing their.
That's why Hassan doesn't want people to have children, because having children is the ultimate radicalizing factor in your life. All of a sudden, you want to arrest criminals, and you're not a fan of terrorism anymore.
Mind changing their political opinions over time as like a bad thing is bizarre, especially as a guy whose goal is, I assume, to change people's minds politically.
No, his goal is global jihad. You have it wrong.
Totally for people changing their minds politically, but only when they change their mind to agree with him. Correct. He supports people changing their mind as new information presents itself. He supports iDubbbz apologizing for the crime of being funny 5 years ago. But when it comes to me changing my mind on like 3 things over the course of a decade, that's bad. Like, yes.
Because you're not pro-jihad. People call me Islamophobic for being like every single Islamic-based commentator is pro-jihad. All right, Mehdi Hassan Piker, Cenk Uygur, every single one of them fucking supports Islamic rape. Every single one of them supports, Hamas. Like, you're gonna sit here and call me Islamophobic? Show me one Muslim commentator who doesn't support Islamic terrorism. Challenge impossible.
I've changed on a few things, obviously. From ages 23 to 35. Yes, your opinions are gonna change a little sometimes.
No way, really?
Like, you probably don't believe the same things you believed like 10 years ago.
Probably did. Probably supported terrorism then, probably supports terrorism now.
No, absolutely not. Well, I think in that video that you talked about, I don't know, I remember like a couple of months ago, you were like, I had a baby, and then I lived in the city, and then I was like, man, baby safety and putting money into the police.
Right.
Isn't that bad, you guys? I mean, that was different.
Nothing will radicalize a woman like a child. All of a sudden, you're pro-gun. All of a sudden, you want a strong man to protect you. All of a sudden, you don't want criminals to get out of jail. It's so weird how that happens.
When you were like 20 or 25.
Right, exactly. Like, when I was living in, like, sheltered suburbs, I was like, hey, jab, f the police. And then you're an adult with a child, and you live in the city, and it's like, oh, actually, no, we need more police.
Never mind.
I just confuse terminally left-right brain people. I always have. Hyper-partisan people absolutely hate me because they can't just, like, put me into a neat little box and then smash that box with a hammer. Hassan usually can hand-wave away critics like, oh, they're just an Israel shill, they're just a Zionist. He can't do that with me.
Bro did that with me. He did that with me. He said that I'm getting funded by the Israeli government. Listen, Israeli government, if you're watching this video, I could use a couple of shekels, don't get me wrong. But yeah, no, absolutely not.
Gives them away by calling them neocons or neoliberals. He can't do that with me. Alt-right incels. He can't do that with me. So what does he do? He malfunctions and starts calling you emo.
Hey, he threatened to kill himself, which you should never threaten you with a good time, Hassan Porker.
Like, okay, man, you got me. Emo is when eyeliner, I guess. In the hyper-partisan mind, it is completely impossible to hold several non-contradictory opinions at the same time. Like, wanting free healthcare, but also wanting a strong border. Like,
I think that you're retarded for wanting free healthcare because every single country with free healthcare is absolutely shit. And free healthcare isn't actually free. It just means you take your tax dollars and redistribute it into the healthcare system in order to make the entire thing worse because everything subsidized by the government works badly. So free healthcare, yeah, it's definitely a shitty opinion. Don't get me. It's definitely a bad opinion. But hey, no, that's just me. No one's perfect. I acknowledge that. But anyway, that's not the topic. We're talking about a terror supporter getting raped.
Me, those aren't contradictory whatsoever. In fact, that works.
They're absolutely not contradictory opinions at all. One's just wrong.
Together, you don't want to override the healthcare system, right? Your focus should be American citizens.
It's a recent one.
Like Denmark doesn't exist, right? They think like, oh, if you think unions are important, you must.
No, this one came out 2 hours ago.
Minors having HRT, like. No, you believe in public transportation. You also have to believe in abolishing prisons. Like, no, sorry, no.
Who's paying for that? Who's paying for the public transportation, though? Your tax dollars?
I don't know how much.
I personally think that private is so much more effective than when it goes to the government. It ends up in Somalia. Right, listen, the Iran war, okay? And then you'd be like, I don't want my money going to the Iran war. But bro, that's where your money's going, whether you like it or not. Right? It's going to the Iran war, it's going to all the public, it's going to every scammer that's trying to defraud the government, it's going to Somali terrorists. Alright, well, ultimately, I don't trust the government with my money. I would way prefer if I was taxed way less. Let's say 10% taxes instead of what it is now, which is absolutely astronomical. And it goes to shit I don't support. I don't want to be funding abortion clinics, actually. Not a fan of the genocide of a third of a generation of people. Not a fan of Gavin Newsom becoming a billionaire. And all these other fucking retards in Congress becoming giga-rich all of a sudden magically. I don't want to be funding gay tap dancing in Venezuela. And I don't even be funding underwater butt fucking in Afghanistan. But hey, I don't get a say in any of that shit. So yeah, no, absolutely. Tax me at 10%. Let me keep 90%, and I'll be able to afford my own healthcare. Anyway, but that's not the point now. We need to talk about dog shockers getting obliterated.
My ideology is confusing. I don't know how they see that as like.
Yeah, no, but she has the right to this stance, I guess. I'm not saying that she doesn't. And this isn't hypocritical. It's wrong. But that's okay.
flopping or being a grifter. When to me, it's like
Even better when it's left on left violence, to be honest.
completely normal, common sense stuff. Like, you can't have a country in decay like this. You can't. It will not be fixed by people like Hassan telling young men not to aspire or anything.
Oh, I'm telling young men to murder politicians? You don't like what about that?
And saying stupid shit like telling people it's cool to steal.
Would you steal from Whole Foods?
I'm pro stealing from big corporations.
I am, no, here we go. We import people who do not believe in thou shalt not steal. And we're supposed to make believe that they're going to assimilate properly into our culture.
Like, what in the fucking LARP is that? Yeah, stealing is so cool, dude. Let's just steal from big corporations so those big corporations move out of that community. And then that community turns into a crime-ridden, unsafe shithole ghost town. And a food desert. Like, yeah, bro, you're really fighting the man. Listen, you can tell people that billionaires...
I mean, let's be honest, though. If you're preaching communism and socialism and shit, that's just the government stealing from you to fund whatever fuck-all shitbag they want to fund. All right, stealing from big corporations or the government stealing from you?
There's a good chance I might lose electricity.
Sorry. I hate socialism, man.
There's a lot of electricity going on outside, so
you are blue in the face, and it might be true, but Jeff Bezos is
if all of a sudden I cut off, it's because I lost power. There's like a thunderstorm going on.
Socialist or even social democratic society with the delusional...
You cannot have a peaceful socialist or social democratic society, period. That's the end of the sentence.
Social policies of Hassan Piker. You just can't. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. It's just so funny when he sees my politics as, like, incoherent, when to me his politics are the ones that are incoherent. The video...
It's very coherent. He wants the destruction of the United States of America, and every single one of his policies actually promotes that. He supports stealing from stores because he wants the destruction of the United States of America. He wants the murder of politicians he doesn't like because he wants the destruction of the United States of America. He supports the murder of random Israelis in Washington, D.C. The United States of America, and he hates the biblical foundation and actual ethical system of our country built over years. He hates it. He wants to destroy it. He supports every single one of our adversaries. He supported Maduro against the United States. He supports Iran right now against the United States. He supports China against the United States. His politics are actually incredibly coherent if you actually pay attention. His politics are actually, he fucking hates Western civilization and he wants us to die. He supports every Islamic terrorist organization on the planet. Not a single time has he refused from endorsing Hezbollah or the Houthis or Hamas. He's incredibly consistent. You're just looking at the wrong criteria.
Video was barely political. My response to him was about his, like, nihilistic mindset when it comes to young men. Because for years, we had to watch the media shove this guy down our throat like he was...
What are you eating from Taco Bell?
Oh, he was gonna save young men from...
I love when he pisses off the normies.
The alt-right pipelines. By the way, this guy is never going to be the Joe Rogan of the left because, like, Joe Rogan, at least Joe Rogan from years ago, I don't know about now, was all about listening to other people's beliefs and hearing other people's opinions. Hassan does not do that. Hassan closes his ears and goes, la la la, I can't hear you, you're stupid, I'm smart. For years, we had to listen to how this guy is gonna push young men away from the GOP. They are leaving the GOP, but they're not going to the Democrats, and I don't know if they're going to the left either. But anyway, my video was not political.
Wake up, sheeple! We are getting a far-right nationalist in the government soon. Maybe not this next election cycle, but it'll happen.
In fact, the only part that, like, was political was the part where I agree with Hassan about the genocide in Gaza.
If you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience.
Very weird coming from a guy who understandably wants everybody to care about a genocide that is happening across the ocean. My point
Well, it's nice that they agree about the pretend
Sounds good.
But it is pretty wild watching Hassan say that you should not...
I had homemade pulled pork for dinner.
There was, you can't be telling young men to only care about things that directly affect them, and then make it your life mission to tell those same...
Called him out on his hypocrisy, which is based, because he needs to be humiliated in public as much as possible.
young men to care about things that don't directly affect them.
Do you want me to lose chunks of my brain? Do you want me to John Fetterman myself so I can understand the compelling argument to...
You have a brain tumor?
Juan had made. One that should have been left in the dustbin of history all the way back in 2016.
I don't pay attention to South Piker because I don't care about the opinions of online prostitutes.
From 2016 aren't still here today that are good.
Literally, technically, I mean, I'll put my stats on the screen.
I just put it in there with a little bit of chicken broth.
Today than 2016. Like, more people...
Honestly,
But no, root beer sounds pretty good.
Watching. So these aren't opinions from 2016. These are opinions from now, Hassan. People disagree with you now.
Look at me, as an emo girl. 4chan guys who are now 38 years old want to fap to me.
Bro, this dude literally, his girlfriend was a whore, an OnlyFans whore. And he's out here insulting this. Bro, you are the cuckest cuck ever to be found.
Wait, 4chan guys want to fap for me? Wait, I thought it was super cool and progressive to have like an army of men who sim for you all night. That's not very open to Hassan.
First of all, I like how you use the word fap.
It's so old, isn't it? Is it gooning now?
Yes, it's gooning. Come on. Come on, get with the times. It should have been left in 2016, Hassan. Come on.
Hassan Piker trying to upstage the Prime Minister of Britain right now.
Mr. Speaker, I am a gooner, and so, as usual, she is left.
Yeah, I am a gooner.
If this was said by anyone else, he would be calling it misogynistic and sexist. But it's
which I mean, it kind of is. Thinking that a woman, look, I am super pro misogyny. Don't get me. That was a joke. But that actually is fucking horrible. I am a woman saying this thing online. People only listen to you because I want to fap to you. That's fucking gross, man. It really is.
It's being said by someone with the hive mind approved opinion, so it's okay. It's called dark woke, Chud. We decided to become more hypocritical and annoying. You wouldn't get it. If I was getting paid for men to fap to me like many of his friends and ex-girlfriend porn star do for a living, that would be fine. He would support it.
Bro, cuck, for real, for real.
Since I don't do that and I'm just like a normal YouTuber, it's a way to insult and degrade me. It is interesting though how Hassan uses unfuckable as an insult to hurl towards men and fuckable as an insult to hurl towards women. I think it was Bell Hooks that once argued that patriarchy harms men by reducing their worth to status and conquest, while women are harmed by being reduced to only their desirability and being conquered. You should not be getting feminism wronged by someone who does not call themselves a feminist, Hassan. Not a good look, buddy. And also, bro, you thirst trap.
But he doesn't really care, because his audience are like revolutionary communists and terrorists. He doesn't actually fucking care about being regarded as a feminist icon.
More than I ever have in my entire life. You were on the cover of GQ. You were on the cover of GQ.
Awkward! We know where your mind's at.
Hot tub. I will put the picture up there as censored as I can. Just to shield everyone's eyes.
Like little rubber ducky on his pee-pee.
You are spread eagle in a magazine. Let me read this to you. Let me read what this journalist said. Are you ready for this? Here's how Hassan Piker starts each day, working out, shooting the shit.
It's so hard to make this like fucking terrorist supporter. It's really not working, man. It's really bad.
It's Monday, 8:38.
Making leftists leave the left. There's this like woke guy, Sam Harris. He literally just made an entire video being like, the left is pushing Hassan Piker and I am not a Democrat anymore. It's just like, fuck yeah, dude. Thank you, man. Thank you.
I am. And we're in the backyard of a house in West Hollywood, where there's a makeshift private gym with benches, pull-down machines, and dumbbells galore. This is where 34-year-old political influencer keeps his thirsted after body fit.
What? By the way, written by a male, too. And I'm just like, I would have thought it was, yes, I'm pretty sure.
He strips his shirt off. An army of girls and gays to be where I am now, next to Piker as he pants in a pair of neon shorts with black Calvin Klein bottoms poking out.
The socialist, by the way.
Sunlight glistening off the sweat beading on his chest. So when it's women and gays thirsting after you, then it's a good thing. But God forbid straight men find you attractive. This is the dude that has to keep his girlfriend a secret like some kind of K-pop star, so he can like be e-boyfriend for his parasocial female fans. I'm always talking about being married, like when I'm in a relationship, I'm talking about relationship, whatever. I'm the whore, not the one playing e-boyfriend.
You're covered up! You can make the argument with me. When people say like, oh, well, she's just a pair of anime tits on the screen. Okay, fair point. However, Shu doesn't even have anything that she wears in her YouTube videos that are like revealing. Like she's very moderate.
People, wait, I'm sorry. My dad is calling. Wait.
Dad,
we know exactly. She's not a whore. Get called by your dad. What could this mean? What could this mean every single freaking time, man? Women, you need dads.
Put me on the phone. What's that? The left in a MAGA body, bro. That always.
Well, I love that title, A Progressive Mind in a MAGA Body. They called it that. Basically admitting that like leftists are like unfuckable losers, as Hassan would call them. They're like all these 84 people, right? So they're like, oh, but this one's attractive at least. That's jihad.
Stuck with me.
A progressive mind and a MAGA body. What do they even mean by that?
Being
Well,
attractive.
basically what they were saying, that being attractive is a right-wing trait because leftists are unfuckable losers.
And eating healthy and working out is right wing. What the f are we smoking?
For like a good 3 years, there was this really weird campaign to make Hassan Piker like the face of progressive masculine.
And all the leftists left the left because these guys are fucking there.
Masculinity in a bizarre attempt to move men to
watching this entire house of cards crumble.
a progressive in a MAGA body. Like, what the fuck do they mean by that? Hey guys, we're not all ugly dysgenic freaks. Look, one of us is Mr. Piker's success on camera, in some part, has been aided by the fact that he is, by conventional standards, a very handsome man. He is 6 feet 4 inches tall and built like a professional athlete, with a square jaw, a beard, and a head of thick, dark hair. It's the one aspect many of my haters can't shake, Mr. Piker said of his appearance in a Twitch broadcast last year. They can't turn around and be like, you're not hot. Indeed, tens of thousands of viewers may watch his videos for his political, but many also tune in for the view of Mr. Piker himself, whose social media profiles are littered with suggestive images of his muscly body in states of undress, or thirst traps, as the pictures are known. Some of his fans scrape, screenshot, clip, and repackage them into fan cams that travel across the internet, glorifying Mr. Piker's appearance and indirectly his beliefs. That is yet again another mainstream article saying one of the only reasons people watch Hassan is because he's attractive, and that he uses his appearance and thirst traps to gain a following. So is he like projecting onto me? Is that what this is? Is he like in
Is he a man whore? No, he just wanted to degrade you, and that's the only thing he thought of. Look, man, you are dealing with a inbred, sub-90 IQ, terror-supporting dipshit. He is not the Aristotle of the modern era. He just literally tried to come up with as many insults as he possibly could in a short amount of time, including, do you want me to kill myself? Which, again, is getting more and more funny to entertain every single moment.
Secure about his thirst traps and his reputation of being nothing but eye candy. And listen, I'm not delusional.
Like, dude, this guy was trying to push the hoax a little bit ago that Israelis are training dogs to rape Palestinians. And if you believe that, you failed an IQ test along the way. I'm not gonna lie. All right, like, this is what you're dealing with, bro.
Okay. Obviously, your looks can help take you further in life, online and offline. Like, if I was morbidly obese or hideously ugly, I probably wouldn't have, like, half the following I have. You can easily say the same thing for Hassan. But at least I organically collected my simps, and didn't have some, like, astroturfed glaze fest propping me up for years as some kind of, like, political sex symbol. Embarrassing.
Guys who are now 38 years old want to
still going?
To me.
38. You mean 3 years older than us, Hassan?
Yeah. Oh my god, the people that are in my demographic.
And what's so funny is like his little fangirls were coming at me on.
This dude is literally going out there trying to make porn for old women. He literally said that. Hold on, let me see if I can find this clip, because this is insane. Here, let's keep going. Hold on.
Twitter, like, you're nearly 40 and you dress like a Hot Topic cashier. Like, and Hassan and I are the exact same age. I think we're a month apart in age. And like, look how he dresses. We are literally co-workers at the Hot Topic, okay?
People like Shoeonhead are basically a humanoid.
Dude, I am so good. A lot of people don't know this. I actually submitted a whole metric fuck ton of Hassan shit to the Department of Justice. Okay, maybe I should say this out loud. To a contact I might know in the government, to basically, be like, hey, this guy's a terrorist supporter. So this was...
I think we already established that. Part of the reason why is because part of the reason why I'm in a suit all the time is because
get ready.
You know, moms and dads are watching. 2 reasons. 1, it makes my head look bigger.
Right, insecure about his small head and his
A lot of consumers come here to watch, like, to see what's going on. And as a chatter correctly,
they want to check out who is this guy that is teaching our children to slaughter the infidels.
To wearing a suit, basically like lingerie for old conservative ladies. Yeah, they love that shit. Gets them horny. And in their horny moment, they just are a lot more receptive to what I have to say. This is how we spark the revolution, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so he literally admitted that the reason why he's wearing suits is because he's trying to make old conservative women horny. All right, like every accusation is like an admission in this guy.
Version of a f***ing Reddit aggregator.
Reddit? Reddit hates me.
Literally 80% of his audience are Redditors. Are we for real right now?
Bro is loved on Reddit. Like, why didn't he say 4chan or Twitter? He's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like, he can't even banter or do the jokes correctly.
Unironically, I think this entire rant, this clip, just sounds like if you were just to post the question, what do you think of Shoehead on r/politics, and then read the comment section?
Yes.
It's just angry Reddit-coded malding. You know the worst part? This is the best thing you can come up with. This is the best you can do.
Jesus Christ. What an unbearable f***ing way to exist, dude. Oh, I'm getting all my politics from Shoehead. If you're getting your politics from a person...
Bro, we're watching her make fun of you, and it's effective because it's working, and now you're melting out, and now we're watching her make fun of you again. Understand what this is, okay? Understand your role, cockroach.
Like Shoehead, you should be embarrassed.
What do you mean, get your politics from Shoehead? I don't expect my audience to...
I watch Shoehead, and she's a socialist. All right, understand. I make fun of her politics because she's a socialist, which is cringe as fuck. But don't get me wrong, I think she's entertaining, and I think she's a person that actually thinks for herself, which is lovely. Don't get me wrong, and she's gonna end up going off, stop being a socialist at some point. We'll see.
To get their politics from me, I expect them to be entertained, to laugh, to think, to engage with the discourse.
I don't expect everyone to agree with everything I say. I just expect to radicalize as many people as I can. I am the far-right rabbit.
And I don't try to, like, pass off.
I am a Bible supremacist. I believe in Old Testament justice, and a lot of people don't like that. They don't have to, actually. I'm not going to change my opinion. I'm not. I like to think of myself as an entertaining fellow who like my videos. I'm grateful to God that my audience is, honestly very fucking funny. I love you guys. Anyway, back to the talking about terrorists.
As someone you should get your politics from. I don't think my audience should get their politics from me or any YouTuber for that matter. I think they should do their own research, come to their own conclusions. I just say my opinions and people are free to agree or disagree. Hassan, on the other hand, like, really thinks he's some serious political commentator. Bro, you're a Twitch streamer. I'm a YouTuber. So that's the difference between you and I.
We're not that
I know
important.
what I am.
We're not
Oh my God, the things I want to say to people like this.
Then say it.
Say it, pussy. Did he change into a suit because I made fun of his Gucci shirt?
Like, you can literally see him scanning his chat of domestic terrorists, like Redditor for insults, right?
This is so lazy.
I find it more compelling when someone deconstructs why you're being stupid. I swear, I think if he had an audience that thought it was okay, he would obviously bring up that you're a girl. Stupid woman! It's like he's fighting his bro, like, instincts.
He's reverting back to bro tips, Hassan. Like,
yeah.
This week's Bro Tip is about bringing out the alpha male in you. This is a classic example of what happens when your father doesn't pay attention to you. You turn out to be a slut who's craving for attention, and then I tend to pick you up at a bar late night and bang you out on the first date.
all his insults I've already 8-miled him on, because I've already made fun of the fact that my eyeliner is from 2008. I'm in no position to talk about style. I still do my makeup like it's 2009. I already made fun of the fact that you shouldn't get your politics from me. If you were going to Shoehead for political information, you are deep fried.
He never self-insults. Like, you can make jokes about yourself. Like, I've joked about a million times, like, oh, I'm a 400-pound man behind an avatar. Like, it's funny. Like, who gives a f? I feel like
Hassan gives lots of fucks. I mean, he pays for the women to receive the fucks he gives, but he does give them.
Takes himself.
I mean, he does go to Diddy parties. I don't want to know what he does there.
Way too seriously. The most popular streamers, every single one that I can name that are at the top with Twitch with Hassan, every single one of them at least, like, makes jokes about their appearance. Aspen talks about how he's bald and doesn't have any teeth. He leaves himself so exposed to being made fun of, and then he wonders why everybody makes fun of him. Like, just join in. It's part of being a human being.
I love how people are, like, trying to help him, but they can't, because he is a ball of pride, ego, and evil.
Honestly, good luck, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You know this bro obliterated his pet dog that night.
We crash out. You like to wipe the drool off his mouth. He's like frothing.
So you're frothing at the mouth like a bulldog.
All right, so then we got one of these Hassan orbiters, a former booby streamer. This is Casey Trump. Oh my god, I cannot stand this girl.
Oh, she also crashed out of me. Wait, did his entire audience, like his entire orbit, have like gigantic nuts crash outs?
This shoe-on head girl, pick me woman.
Shoe on head and her dumb,
She's literally married with a child.
audience.
Her dumb audience of incels. Like, I don't know. It's like
reacting to Hassan and just repeating everything he says. And he's like, yeah, fucking incels.
Like, shoe-on head, if you like care so much about these incels, go one.
This is such a self-report for being a retarded whore. Like, I love the implication too that like Casey Trump thinks the only way you can truly care about men is if you have sex with them. Does this thought process just come free with not having a father figure? Do I have to have unresolved
Trying to fill the dad-shaped hole in her heart with a son pecker?
daddy issues to comprehend this?
Is that problematic for me to say? No, it's just retarded. Like, prove you care so much about these incels and their inability to get sex. Go one. Oh wait, you won't?
What even are we
because
doing?
you're just grifting to them? Like, you don't
I
even...
love how leftists are just the most insufferable humans of all time, and then they just expect everyone to follow along with their charade. Why is everyone becoming right-wing? Well, I don't know. We're getting introduced to leftists.
Then what I get with them,
I think they're radicalizing to the right, like being a leftist.
But you'll condemn other women for not wanting to who you don't want to Okay.
Bro, they think the far-right rabbit hole starts with me. No, it starts with these guys.
When did I ever condemn women for not wanting to people? What is it? Hat on foot again. Hat on foot making YouTube videos from Earth 2 about how women owe men sex. What the
really
fuck?
fantasizing.
Why is everything sex with these people too? Like everything is sex. You talk about
their whores. Why do they call their parades pride parades? I don't know, man. I don't know. Why does wokeism basically end up as some sort of amalgamation of the 7 deadly sins?
The human just...
You got these wrathful, angry-ass motherfucking people, prideful, they envy everyone, they're greedy for their money, they want communism, they're gluttonous, they're fat-phobic, they support the fat acceptance movement where people eat themselves to death. Right, let's be real here.
Desire to like create a family and have a legacy, and they're like, sorry you can't get laid, incel. Sorry you can't get pussy.
Says the chick that sits in her room all day and smokes weed until she's numb.
I know. Are you being serious? Dog, what are you doing?
If you look up
Is that her reacting to Hassan being a terrorist?
the dangers of smoking marijuana in like a Kids Dare pamphlet, there's just a picture of Casey Trump's face.
You're happily married and have a child, but because some fat retard on Twitter thinks you're a grifter, you're gonna need to f a bunch of random men to prove them wrong. What do you just have to do? Like a weekly raffle? Pull a random inside of how do you verify that
Subscriber number 20?
Yeah.
I stand by what I
The funniest thing is that incel is involuntarily celibate, bro.
said. Sean Head should be thanking
People don't even know what words mean. Again, that's the left. They don't know what words mean.
me for giving her and her incel following. Said it again, award! Said it again, award!
I mean, bro, are we surprised? These people have like little vernaculars crammed in their comatose, weeded out brains, trying their best to string words together to virtue signal. That's their entire political career.
No, it's like a parrot, man.
What?
Incel! You know Jafar from Disney?
Hassan is Jafar. And so she's a good girl. Yes, give her a
cracker.
So once again, people in his chat brought up my video. He has not responded to it. He has not made a single point.
He's wearing a different suit. This is a different stream. He had a multi-day meltdown over this. Oh, that's
Called me emo, called me irrelevant, you know, but he didn't call me wrong. Notice that. They never call you emo, but they never call you wrong.
Did you see what Sean had responded on Twitter? No. Also,
what is that pause?
what? Who cares?
For 20 seconds. Who cares?
Dude, that laugh is killing me.
Who cares?
Bro.
The fake laugh. What is going on?
What are you guys talking about, man?
What are you guys talking about?
Well, I'm literally over here talking about how I'm doing a rally with someone who's running in Philadelphia.
I'm out here doing the revolution, okay? Like, that's cute, Hassan. That's adorable.
He's not a politician, man. The majority of the people that know your name only ever heard of you because you electrocuted your dog live on the street.
Kaya, please just fucking go. Just stop.
Does he not understand that 95% of his fan base are terminally online Redditors? Like, they don't give a fuck about your rally bro in the background over here. They want you to call Shuon Head a Nazi to validate their hatred and their feelings.
Whatever the shoe on head said.
It's the laugh again! No, you're joking. Stop.
Hassan is pissed because, like, he's finally out doing something in the real world, and the only thing people care about, the only thing people are talking about in regards to him online right now.
Listen, man, you could go to infinite political rallies arguing about the pretendicide in Palestine. You can do what you want. You can go out there. You can make movements. You can get all of your, domestic terrorist fans super excited about whatever the fuck they do. Burn down synagogues? I don't know what they do for fun. You can get all those guys excited about supporting the next Luigi Mangione. But you electrocute one dog, and you will always be the dog dog.
Now is this. And you know what? To be like completely fair, which is something these people would never do for me, this was a better response than his first response. He's basically just like, I don't care, I'm busy doing like real things in the real world. Okay, fair enough, understandable, have a nice day. But then...
Bro's out there sabotaging the entire Democratic Party just for me, just for content for me, and I appreciate it.
Then he says this.
Talk to me when we got the wiki feed ratings up for Shuon Head, okay? What's their wiki feed looking like?
What This is the leftist messiah, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, what's her...
What? What is going on? Did I listen to what that woman said? No, absolutely not. Let me know if I can see her feet, though. What? Honestly, it would be Giga Chat if it came from
woke of you.
Anyone funny or likable.
Like, if the chatter...
Bro, you know what's honestly hilarious? Homelander is like 1,000 times more likable than Hassan Piker.
You didn't bring it up. Why did you bring up WikiFeed?
I know. By the way, if you guys don't know, WikiFeed website where people upload pictures of like celebrities' feet. Let's look up his songs.
No. Oh my, no way. He's got his bare tootsies online.
Wait! I have a higher feet score than Hassan. Is this what this is about?
He's mad.
He's been foot mobbed.
By the way, never addressed anything you said. Never even attempted to refute a point.
No.
Just makes comments on about like wiki.
That's what he does to everyone. All right, his response to my video was saying, he gets paid by Israel. All lies. Literally all lies. Never need to engage with anything. And that's how he operates every time.
If I sold feet pics,
definitely someone who's confident in his opinions and the things he says.
If I sold pictures of my feet, would he?
By the way, I challenged him to a debate, and he decided, and that's when he stopped replying to me. Just letting you all know that this dude's a coward.
Use this as an insult. No, because he's Mr. Sex Positive, Mr. Sex Work is Real Work, Mr. Brothel Boy.
Yeah, I'm making a difference on my shoe and your stupid video. Also, did you know she's stupid?
She's stupid. Don't go watch the video. Don't go watch it, guys. She's stupid.
Check your feet score instead.
Also, her feet are kind of nice looking.
The craziest part about all of this was after his crash out and like after everyone was making fun of him, he gets on Twitter and he's like, I've yet to watch any of her content. Excuse me? So what the f are you basing all of this on? How am I stupid? How do I change my politics? How am I just an emo girl that men fact to? Either A, he's lying and he has seen my content, or B, he's just blindly repeating things he's seen other people say about me.
No, he's lying. Of course he's lying.
Either way, it's pathetic. He's stuck between, like, wanting to be above it all. Ugh, I don't even know who that is. I'm out here doing the revolution and wanting to tear me
I want to see her feet.
down. But he can't do both. So as it stands right now, what he's saying is that he has literally never heard me speak. He just looked at me and went, woman online must be a whore. Which honestly, not a bad guess.
I mean, to be fair,
People should be...
To be fair, unsolicited opinions from online prostitutes has got to be one of the greatest ever call-outs of all time. I'll be real here. I immediately put that shit in the do not give a fuck about your opinion box the moment I'll be honest.
Or
One of the rare non-whore online with a child and different political opinions than Hassan Biker. Who would have thought?
Terrorist, okay? What happened to Shane?
Oh, wait. I find it incredible.
What happened to Shane? Says the guy who's in a bubble bag.
Incredibly ironic that the guy who used chain lightning on his dog live on stream in front of thousands of people and then lied
1,000 volts into the dome of Kaya
about it and gaslit everybody, thinks that anyone else needs to be embarrassed about anything. Like, you spent your entire career, the better part of a decade plus, being a political commentator, but the only thing that the majority of the internet knows you for is zapping your dog for stepping off its 4 square foot cot you have designated for it. That's your fucking legacy, Hassan.
Shot my dog, I can't stop, yeah.
Like, obviously he watched the video and something in it really had him rattled. Like, was it the brothel thing? Was it the clock meme? Because if it was the clock meme, that was a joke, okay? We're the same age, Hassan. It is not too late.
Except you have a child. You're gonna die alone. Alone and miserable, probably deported.
This is all not that serious. I just thought this was really funny and everybody was asking for a response video. So there you go.
We make an effort to terrorist pedophiles. No, I think it's actually important. I think publicly shaming and humiliating retards that are trying to destroy America is awesome.
Here's your response video. I also just want to make it clear that if he responds, I will not be responding back unless it's something absolutely insane that requires a response. I refuse to get caught in the Hassan Piker content loop.
That's me! I'm the Hassan Piker content loop. Because I hate terrorists. And he loves them. So we don't get along.
We'll leave that to the professional Hassan Piker farmers. There are people who have made diabolical wealth. Okay? I am but a humble wool farmer. I'm but a humble wool farmer. And my crops are dying. I must get back to them. They're calling him the corniest man alive. The final boss of performative male feminism.
Literally Brian Griffin from Family Guy.
The human Brian Griffin. This is like when like a hot girl has like a video game controller and she's like licking it. She's like,
yes, or like with the cat ears, the little headset with the cat ears. I love that there's not just one picture, it's 2 in different shots.
No, of course, there's one of him making believe he could read, and then there's the other one of him thoughtfully looking out the window, thinking about how he could quietly have some sort of revolution where he kills as many right-wing people as he can.
So like, it's like, dude, can you just take a picture of me like holding it and then like putting it down?
Solemnly looking out the window.
My dog is literally just sitting next to me, staring at me. He knows I'm talking about Hassan. He knows, Kaya, I will save you.
Yes. Okay, Alana, thank you.
From the fridge to the tree, Kaya, free.
You for joining me. You made it less painful to watch this shit, okay? I'm glad you were with me for this. Plug your stuff for everybody watching.
Follow me on Twitter, on Smugalana. Follow me on Twitch. I go live 5 days a week. Join my Discord. Lots of really nice people to hang out in there. Absolute pleasure, Kami Mommy. Emo girl with the feet.
Yes. If you like this video, please subscribe. And
brutal. Man, I love watching leftists eat their own. Favorite thing ever. God, making fun of communist and terrorist supporters has got to be one of my favorite things ever. I'm really out here making a living doing what I love. So grateful. So grateful. Anyway, everything is going to be linked in the description, of course, to everything I reacted to, everything I looked at in this video, all the resources and stuff. Thank you for support, everyone. I really appreciate you immensely. You know, I've been working really hard, making some anger content lately. Look. I did. I know I did. It's a fact. I did. You don't need to blame me. I can do it myself. Okay, that sounded weird. But the thing is, nothing will radicalize you like getting married and having children. It's just an objective fact. And leftoids, they will push you to the right more than any right-wing guy ever. From Piers Morgan out there making believe he doesn't understand per capita for the rape gang, Hassan Piker his dog, supporting terrorists and stuff. Bro, it is a bad day to be a communist. Cuba, all the pieces. Yeah, we got absolutely China sucking it's just absolute insanity. Definitely subscribe. I do appreciate all the support though. You guys have been incredible. Keep being funny in the comments. You guys are awesome. You really are. I read almost all the comments on all my videos. You guys are incredible. Super appreciative and grateful. To God for the support. I'll see you in the next one. Every day, another new guide. Bye.
Defend
defend this country. Each and every one of them deserves our thanks.
I need Mama.
And I encourage everyone listening to go out there and shake the hand of a federal agent or police officer and say thank you for doing their job. Thank you for training endlessly to make sure they meet the mission requirements. And for me, as the director of the FBI, I want to thank our headquarters components for working diligently with our prosecutors and make sure that the American public knows it's not just federal agents who do this work. It's our intelligence analysts, our support staff, our laboratories, our fixed-wing assets, our critical incident response groups, our hostage rescue teams. Agents sprung into action, got out of bed, and haven't slept since. These prosecutors haven't slept since, and I promise you they're not going to be sleeping. They are going to give you every piece of evidence. As the journal said, we will make public, when appropriate, to protect the integrity of this investigation, to make sure that due process is served, and we will meet the highest standards of the Constitution as we always do. And that is when we will continue to disclose information. I know the public has a yearning for information, but just remind yourself of how much information you have already received, how transparent this administration has been. In less than 48 hours, you know almost every single thing you know. And what we have not told you yet, we will tell you in short order. So once again, from me, as Director of the FBI, I want to thank the Interagency, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and the Director, Mark Wayne Mullen, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General of the United States Attorney Bureau, and Agent Cook for springing into action on a night that should have been celebrating free speech, but we will be doing it again shortly, as the President said, and we look forward to seeing you all there. Pierre.
Two questions, please. Beyond the evidence the judge described as the manifesto, what other evidence can you point to that tells us that the president was the primary target of the suspect?
So we're a day and a half into the investigation. As we talked about earlier, we were able to get multiple devices from various locations, the hotel room and also his where he lived in California. We have started that process. There's nothing more that would be appropriate to share at this time until we have thoroughly gone through it, which we're doing, and we'll share that information as appropriate in the future. Second question, go ahead.
Beyond the assassination attempts against President Trump, you had someone try to burn down the mansion where the governor lives in Pennsylvania. You had those state lawmakers attacked in Minnesota. You had 2 Israeli embassy staff members murdered in the city here. You had the Charlie Kirk assassination. You had the National Guardsman killed in the city. Can you, each of you, describe the current threat environment and what DOJ's stance is about?
Well, you just described the current threat environment pretty accurately, which is that the political violence and rhetoric has got to stop. And that's something President Trump said right after the incident on Saturday night. It's something that Carolyn Levitt talked about a couple hours ago. It is something that is, when you have a president who and many people...
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is a borough council in London, not one British person. They're not replacing you guys. It's a myth. It's a myth, guys. It's a myth. While the United States is pushing this anti-migration policies, Europe is dying. It is. All right, so, Donald Trump posted this one. Re-migration. No more replacement migration. Go to war with the UN. We got lib-cuck universe over here in England absolutely getting obliterated. And don't worry, because I have to show you the establishment cuckery still trying to... Not Afghanistan, by the way. Pay attention.
जब तक सुनो टीवी मुलाजमीन को मिलके उनके वाजिबात के हवाले से और बैठ के उनको सुनता नहीं है सुनो टीवी की ऐड बनना
Holy shit, I couldn't even get out of there.
मैं सिंध गवर्नमेंट से पंजाब गवर्नमेंट से केपी गवर्नमेंट से और बलूचिस्तान गवर्नमेंट से भी मुल्तमस हूं जिस तरह फेडरल गवर्नमेंट ने सुनो टीवी की ऐड बंद करने का ऐलान किया है
Wow.
रेप्लिकेट करें
So real. England, guys, England. Now, the reason why I'm showing this to you, the total takeover that's happening in England, just understand what's going on in Europe. All right, so this is a fire on a migrant house after 2 weeks of protest. The school, which was turned into asylum because they tell you to abort your children, and then they import a new class of society to take over instead. It was set on fire tonight in Loodstrecht in the Netherlands. Now, the protesters blocked the road for the firefighters to make it impossible for them to put out the fire. This is insane. This is where people have gotten to. At some point, elections are just going to be off the table. The countries are just going to betray them too many times, and they're going to stop the firefighters from putting out the fires. Like, it is getting really, really dangerous over there, and people are tired of it. Polish police arrest 4 Swedish citizens for robbing and threatening a Norwegian tourist in Gdansk. Get ready, the 4 men risked 20 years in Polish prison, and they were identified as Mohammed H. from Sweden, Jabril H. from Sweden, Senal Saned, and Aran Akib. Understand what we're doing here, boys. Understand what we're doing here, boys. All right, now, breaking news. This is one of the best things I've ever read in my life. The bodies of 3 young girls have been found right in Sussex, in England. There are currently no further details at this time. Like, understand how insane it is. They're believed to be 3 girls. That's how badly they were mutilated. All right, now, a lot of people don't understand per capita, so I'll introduce you to a little bit of facts about the United Kingdom before we actually get into the absolute cuckery that you're about to witness. This is one of the worst debates of all time. Piers Morgan making believe that actually there's literally no difference between a white guy from England and a Pakistani Muslim who happens to have British paperwork. It might be some of the most unbelievable shit ever. So let's look at some stats. Pakistani Muslims are 6.5% of the population of England. To be clear, that's relatively little, right? You'd think that's still a minority. They're 90% of the terror threats, 83% of the child gang rapes, 18.2% of the prison population, 63% are married to their cousins, 31% of genetic disorders in the entire country is from Muslims. All right, despite the 6,655 FGM attendants, 48.6% of the non-employed people. Oh, bros. 6% of the population, half of the unemployed peoples, 27% in social housing. They are raping the country quite literally and also figuratively. And now that you have the facts completely at your fingertips, here's the evidence. All the evidence is below. It's literally, it's official. This is according to the government, right? This is after the cover-ups. Understand how bad it is that this is after the government cover-ups. These are still the stats. Now I'm going to show you the worst debate in the history of the world. Because not only is the left sitting there and being gay about it, and they don't want to be racist, but they are demons. I don't know how these people can live in themselves. Enabling the rape of their country. Enabling the destruction of their civilization. Well, this is why the left is fucking evil and retarded, and they have zero morals whatsoever. I'm so grateful whenever they're so gracious enough to prove my point that they're immoral psychopaths. Or retards, but one or the other. And there is no third option. I mean, this is their prime minister right now. I don't know if we should be surprised.
He called us orcs and goons. Mr. Speaker, I am a gooner, and so, as usual, she is less than half right.
Yeah, so bro's out there in Parliament calling himself a gooner, and we're wondering why he's bringing the rape community into his country, much to the surprise of everyone. Now, I don't want to get into like details right now behind all these specifics and these stats and why they do these things. I don't want to get into the fact, the reasons why some cultures are inferior. But it's objectively true that they are. I don't know if it's maybe a religion that actually worships a pedophile, or potentially because their laws allow the subjugation and violent rape of children and taking sex slaves or something. I don't know. Maybe that has anything to do with it at all. But that is not the discussion to be had today. It's an objective fact that this is fucking astounding, and it's objectively immoral to not want to bring these people into your country. So lock in, get ready.
Well, hang on. When you say that there's various stats that are misleading, I have to ask a pertinent question. When you say that most crime is committed by white people, well, it should be. That's still the dominant racial element.
90% of the country is white people. I believe most crimes are by white people. You're Islamophobic.
In England, what about per capita, meaning per proportion?
But my question...
Hang on, real quick, I'm almost done.
Okay.
Is there a disproportionate amount of crime from these immigrants in comparison to the domestic population? That's his question. I think it's valid.
Specifically child rape.
Yeah, let's talk about child rape. They love doing that in those countries.
Actually, the vast majority of child rape is perpetrated in the UK by white people.
Because they're 90% of the population. Again, is he actually fucking retarded or evil? These are the two options. I want to radicalize enough people and let enough people recognize that if you're a leftist, you're either evil or retarded. There is no third option. All right, so is he retarded and he doesn't understand per capita? Or is he evil and demonic and allowing the rape of his entire culture because he doesn't want to look racist?
Asking about that.
Per capita.
We're asking about...
Okay, but why does Tommy Robinson, I don't know the per capita number, I'll get it while we're talking.
85%. How the fuck do you not know that if you're a British commentator?
of gang rapes in this country are perpetrated, of gang rapes, are perpetrated by South Asian men, according to the Quilliam
South
Oh.
Asian means Pakistani Muslim.
report of 2017.
Well, actually, they were British Pakistani men, to be specific.
Actually, they weren't South Asian. They were British. Pakistanis, but British. They had paperwork. They weren't South Asian because they were British. This is what they fucking do to you, man.
In parts
South Asian
in parts of the north of England, right?
Yeah, which was, Pakistan.
Yeah, from Mirpur. Mostly from
That's what the
Mirpur.
rally's about on May 16th.
But my point, Andrew, is...
It's the per capita rally.
My point to Andrew is it helpful that Tommy Robinson only fuels the narrative all the crimes are being committed by Muslims when they're not?
Yes. He doesn't say that all the crimes ever are committed by them, but it's way disproportionate. And the more that they get away with this shit, and the more they import more of them, and the more this actually happens. The more these people take power, and the more they let this happen, the more they cover up the crimes, and an entire generation of women, of girls, got raped. All right, yes, it's an objective fact. 6% of the population did 90% of the gang rapes? Like, did you even hear this shit, dude? Like, that's absurd. Absolutely absurd.
I'm not convinced that that's
In
actually...
fact, the numbers are even worse than that. It's 6.5% below. 6.5% includes the women. It includes the Pakistani Muslim women. That's right. It's more like 3%. That's how tiny it is. 3% of the population committing 90% of the gang rapes. And you're gonna tell me that this isn't a cultural issue? It's Islamophobic to notice? Like, you gotta be fucking retarded.
pretty accurate. So it's...
Or evil. That's the other option.
See, I've watched a few of the Robinson debates, and he tends to focus on disproportionate crime rates.
That's
What,
right.
what Gavin's talking about here, which
Because the culture is fucking bad. It's bad. It's an inferior culture. Yep, that's right. That's right. You can call me racist, but you can't call me wrong.
per capita. He's saying that disproportionate to the domestic population that's here, these people are overwhelmingly committing these types of sex crimes. That doesn't sound to me like he's trying to pin everything on Muslims, but rather point out an individualistic and precise problem.
So we have the... Okay, we have the...
They love raping kids. That's the one thing that he's pointing out. That this specific culture really likes raping kids. Now, do you want those people to be your neighbors? I don't.
Data for you. The arrest rates by ethnicity per 1,000 people for the year ending March 2020.
For the record, no one's talking about ethnicity right now. We're talking about religion. Muslim is not a race. Muslim is not an ethnicity. Muslim is an ideology. It's not racist, okay? Just to be clear. So this is immediately fake.
25. Black, 19 arrests per 1,000 people. White, 10 arrests per 1,000 people. Asian, 9 arrests per 1,000 people.
Now, Asian includes Indian and Pakistani and Japanese and Chinese. Now, the Japanese and Chinese people's crime rates are really low, but suspiciously, the Pakistani rate is pretty high. I can't even say it without saying rape anymore. It's so fucking bad these days. Like, every single day, there's another couple of examples of this. Every 54 minutes, there's a rape in London. It's like, what are we doing? Right, now, to be clear, that stat means nothing. Because one of the major issues is they keep releasing them from prisons. They keep letting them go after catching them. Right? They do not squash crime as much. So not only is he talking about Asian ethnicity, which means fucking nothing. This is the ethnicities that no one is talking about. But also, it's not talking about child rape. It's talking about crime in general. And also, no one's talking about the disproportionate amount of crimes that are being covered up and people let out of jail. Fuck-all countries. Right, just understand how disingenuous those statistics are.
Yeah, now do
That's
child
not actually
rape.
answering the question.
Okay,
And everyone immediately notices.
They're not getting
again and again
arrested.
and again.
Piers.
Okay, you asked me to give
What a
you
weird side to pick.
the pro
You're mad
rata
at the guy
numbers.
who's trying to stop
There you
child
go.
rape.
Sorry?
And he's like, there you go, you have the numbers. This is the libtard mind. Understand, either evil or retarded.
You're mad at the guy who's trying to stop child rape.
No, I'm not. And as I said,
Thousands of girls
no,
getting raped.
But again,
A girl's
no,
tied to a piece of wood as
Again,
they raped her.
Gavin,
They raped her under the
Gavin,
Pakistani
you
flag.
said this
They're
the other day.
branding girls and
Gavin,
for Muhammad.
Gavin,
For the hot
Gavin, I have repeatedly said that where I agree with Tommy Robinson has been on his relentless campaigning against the grooming rape gangs in the north
That's
of
all
England.
he cares about.
Hang on, it's not
Okay,
all.
W,
It's
let's
not,
go.
if only it was all he cares about, but it's not. But the point is, he claims he was the only one who ever exposed this, that the journalists of this country...
So you're mad that he's taking credit for stopping child rape? Like, you cannot make this up, man.
never exposed it, and yet it was exposed originally by a journalist from the Times newspaper.
Okay.
It was a literal journalist who blew the lid off that whole scandal. Tommy Robinson has
He's
been...
mad at Tommy Robinson because Tommy Robinson is making people think that in the Islamic cultures, the rape of children is more acceptable. Because it fucking is. Because they do it. Because child marriage is legal in every single one of these Muslim countries. But this is crazy to think about. Do you know that in Iran right now, everyone's screaming about Jeffrey Epstein. In Iran right now, there are 2.3 million children married to adults. Like, what are we doing, man?
Right to focus on the cover-ups, which were scandalous and outrageous. And I completely agree with him, as I would say to his face, as I told him on social media.
Covered it up. You know why? Because you would rather let little girls get raped than be known as racist. All you care about is your
Why would you say such a ridiculous
and
thing?
racist is the worst thing you can be.
He's just right.
So you allow girls to get raped.
Why would you say such a stupid thing?
That is true. It's demonic.
Every single...
What it is. I'm calling you guys demons.
Really?
You hid child
You
rape.
sound completely unhinged, ironically. yourself.
Let's go! Look him, old man! Oh, that's crazy.
Sounds unhinged.
So they make up.
You sound unhinged when you say I'm a demon for importing a culture that's raping my children.
So 4%
I am
of the
unhinged.
population, but make up 18% of all the people jailed, Pierce? What? Am I reading that right? Is that correct? I just want to make sure that I got this right.
And to be clear, they have no reason to be there. The government, against the will of the people, is importing them.
You said you're going to get these per capita numbers, and I want them. Like, what are they? What are the per capita numbers? Because what I'm seeing is not looking very good. Okay, it's not looking very good for your side.
Yeah.
So what are they? What is the actual
Why
per capita
are you
numbers for these
avoiding
child
this
sex
subject?
crimes?
I find it
Like, why do
extraordinary.
you call someone racist when they point this out?
I've literally just told you the arrest rates for ethnicity. And there's
Literally no one has this. It's about per capita Muslim people child rape. That's the question.
for themselves.
Well, no, it did.
Well, they
when
do.
did you use the word
They
Muslim?
literally
When
speak
did
for
you use the word
themselves.
Muslim?
I'm not
When did you use the word
pretending.
Muslim?
I'm not pretending Muslims don't commit crimes. So does every other.
Absolute cinema. You cannot walk yourself out of this hole, man.
Do you think if we're talking
If
about
that's not
child
splitting
rape?
hairs. Splitting hairs? We're splitting young girls in half. That's what we're
What's
splitting.
wrong? Why would you say that?
Oh my god, these words are offensive. More offensive than girls getting ripped to shreds in public. That's right. That is exactly what we're dealing with.
If you've been around people who have been a victim of child sexual abuse...
Oh, you shouldn't talk about children getting raped because it might trigger someone who heard this who's been around children getting raped. Fucking retard hour here.
Hearing something like that is horrendous. I can tell you. Anything...
Hearing bad things is bad. We can't even talk about it.
No, you know what's horrendous?
If they heard
Getting
you
raped
speak
by an
like
old
that,
Pakistani
you would
man.
honestly, you would
That's
actually
true.
into a
That's
real
right.
panic. It's awful what you're saying.
What you're saying is awful. It's true. These things are actually happening, but we're not allowed to talk about them.
What? You just can't handle the truth.
I can handle the truth. I actually live in the
We
UK.
need to get these people out of politics.
And I have for years been talking about the grooming gangs. I've been talking about Labour and what they did not do in certain councils. I've also spoken about people like Andy Burnham, who's the mayor of Manchester. When he was an MP, he was one of the first people to put in a proper
Blah, 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 yada, yada. I do so many things. I just don't talk about the issue. I talk about the fact that different white men are not arresting the Muslims enough, but I'm not going to talk about how it's the Muslims that are doing the raping.
She led to arrests of the people who perpetrated these heinous acts.
Okay, so you're a Tommy Robinson supporter.
I think that it's perfectly legitimate to raise issue and raise light on these horrendous crimes.
But we're not allowed to acknowledge that the culture is literally the issue. We're not allowed to acknowledge that, though.
But I don't
We're on the same
agree.
page.
I do not agree with all of the nonsense we were talking about before about the Unite the Rally and talking about him actually acting contempt, carrying out contempt of court. But child sexual abuse. I just don't like the politicization
Contempt
we're
of court
doing right
was
now.
The politicization of importing a class that is raping a generation of girls. The politicization of it.
He's seeing a
Using the language
documentary
that you
about
are
this, by the way.
using, it really is horrendous.
Is there
If you are a victim,
particular-
you'll be knocked sideways by that.
Ava, is there a particular
This is all
ethnic group
class.
that you accept is majority responsible for the raping of underage women?
Well, Ben, let me sit back a little bit
Go
and,
on.
and answer that question, because I think that I think that the lunacy of it to me is that any child sexual exploitation or abuse is heinous. And that's the starting block of where I start.
Yeah, true. It's just most of it's happening because of Muslims that were imported into the country. Like again, they dance around the major point here.
But is there an ethnic connection to it?
Can I finish?
Yeah.
The one thing I would stress is the grooming gangs that did coagulate around Rochdale, around Manchester. I have investigated this and I've reported on this. There was not proper reporting of the perpetrators because there were, quote unquote, fears in the council that it would be perceived as racism.
That's
an issue at heart.
That
That's
is
an
actually
issue at heart that we should tackle as a country. And I'm really glad, actually, for some of the very loud influencers online who have brought this to the forefront. That does not negate the white people in this country who carry out child sexual abuse
How they squirm.
every single day. Over 50% happens in people's own homes.
50% does it, right?
I get all of that, but you touched on a really important point. You said institutions turn the blind eye because of fear. That is institutionalized racism in this country against white people in favor of ethnic minorities. That is where this country is going wrong.
Every single day, but for some reason, Ben, you can't stomach it.
No, the police.
But actually, there are a lot of white men carrying this out every single day.
I agree with that, but there is no institutional protection of white criminals. There is institutional protection.
There are white men getting off every single day for doing this.
The police turn the blind eye.
And that's what we should be fighting about.
The police turn the blind eye. You just said it yourself. Police turn the blind eye. Social services turn the blind eye. NHS turn the blind eye. And actually, I think it was either Gavin or Andrew said it earlier. We have a two-tier criminal justice system. We have a sentencing council that is. We have a sentencing council.
You just want to hide the
We have. Can I just say? We have a sentencing. We have a
You don't care about children. You just care about not importing Muslims that are raping children.
Rape of young children. You don't care. You care about politicizing
No, I don't.
Politicizing it. My guy, these people are evil. These people are fucking demons. They are.
You actually care about child
absolute nonsense.
You would talk about it as a homogenous issue and not simply about one race is doing this.
These people are so cuffed. You see, I think she's actually retarded, not evil. I think Pierce is more bordering on evil in this regard. Like, there's no way you can be this fucking stupid. Like, I'll be real. I think leftists have groomed themselves to such an insane degree. They've mind-raped themselves to the point that they refuse to acknowledge that not all cultures are actually the same. That some cultures are actually fucking evil, comparatively speaking. Some cultures are inferior, all right? They don't want to acknowledge it because they're like, well, everyone rapes kids. Everyone has some people that rape kids. But some institutionalize it, legalize it, support it. You know what the Quran says? That not only Muhammad is the most moral man that ever lived, but he married a 6-year-old and raped her when she was 9. Hello? This is the person they're all emulating, and the proof is in the pudding. Every single Muslim country, they rape kids. I'm sorry, they marry kids. All right? What are we even doing here? Well, we do not need to play this game. They still, today, modern day, take sex slaves in these countries. Oh, we're not allowed to acknowledge that these cultures are actually inferior? Bro, they treat women like cattle. And we have leftist feminists that have mind-raped themselves to the point that they have to sit here and make believe all cultures are the same. And, well, I'm against all child rape. You know what? Me too. But I feel like we could solve 90% of the gang rapes if we just stop importing Pakistani Muslims, for example. These people are such disingenuous fucks, it's crazy.
Muslims aren't a race.
So I don't. How do I get in trouble for using the word bitch, and she can say he doesn't care about child rape? Isn't that worse?
That's what you just
You literally accused all of us of endorsing it.
True.
That's why.
Because they do.
Because you hid the fact. You hid this. He's not hiding it. By hiding it, you're endorsing it. By hiding it, you're allowing it to happen more. And now you're focused on white rapists because you don't understand per capita. This is all about class. The working class has had enough of people like you. The working class had enough of your accent and the way you ignore things because they're not fashionable. Sorry. I'm sorry that recognizing grooming gangs is not fashionable.
What?
What are you talking about, man?
I'm
talking about you guys denying that we have a modern Islamic problem with child rape. That's what these rallies are about. You guys want to diffuse it and say, well, white males do it too, and let's ignore per capita.
That's not what I said.
You're playing it down.
That's not what I said at all. That's just not what I said.
You're focusing on white males. You're trying to dilute the equation.
My point, which started all this, is that if you read Tommy Robinson's X feed, for example, you will never see anything about white males committing crimes. Why?
Because he's tackling a very major issue in the country. A very major issue, which is importing Islamic rapists. Okay? It's a very major issue that he's focusing on. It's like, well, why is he talking about bank robberies? I don't know, because that's not what he's focusing on.
Because he's focused on his thing.
Exactly. He's focused.
And Pierce thinks that he wins this debate. He's like, got him. He's focusing on Muslims, so he's Islamophobic. Next me, liberals.
On Muslims.
And you're not.
24/7. Oh, I'm focused on everyone.
I'm focused on everyone. All rape bad, wow, so rape.
And all crimes.
Okay,
What I'm not is the voting. I'm not telling millions of people every day that the only problem in this country is the Muslims taking over, because it's bullshit. Anyway, we've got to leave it there. Will you be watching the rally, Gavin, on the weekend? Will you be
I'll be
tuning
there
in?
with bells on, just like I was at the last one, with the other 3 million people.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. Why don't you stop them when you're there? Because you'll find that
You just look at the shot.
People don't care about Islamic rape gangs, please.
You'll find you're 2,850,000 short. No, these are the police figures from the march.
Oh, the police figures! They wouldn't lie.
150,000 maximum. But don't tell me. Don't tell me. They lie.
Let's rely on the police that have been covering up Islamic grooming gangs to talk about the correct numbers in the protests against the Islamic grooming gangs. Wow, fucking. Uh-oh, what a bang!
The police lie. Of course they would. Why would the police lie about a crowd number?
Why would the police that covered up Muslim rape gangs lie about the number of people protesting against the government covering up Muslim rape gangs? Let's think about that one.
Because the state hates Tommy Robinson, they're throwing him in jail 10 times for nothing.
Well, hang on.
They threw him in jail for a series of crimes.
Never did get those numbers.
Go look up the
I'm just
crimes.
pointing that out. We never did get those numbers. Speaking of numbers, we did ask for them many times, but I never actually got the numbers to demonstrate